Morning and welcome to Cobham. A big start to a big day of football for this football club. Chelsea take on West Bromwich Albion in the Under-18s Premier League. Kick-off coming your way in just a couple of minutes. I'm delighted to say that I'm beside Tommy Langley for this one. Good morning, John. Mate. How are you?
Good morning. Very well. Looking forward to the day ahead. More so the night, but let's hope this starts off in a good vein.
Absolutely. Momentum's massive in football. I'm not sure it carries through from the Under-18s to the senior side, but we'll take anything we can at the moment,
If they can
right?
get inspiration out of this today, I'll be a very happy man.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. Chelsea have obviously coming into this after a brilliant win at the weekend, a good 3-0 win against Leicester City. Again, a good side, very important at this level, especially when the title's already wrapped up for West Ham United to, I suppose, continue that consistency, but also work your way into plans for next season and the season beyond. Absolutely
that. I mean, it's all about progression for these boys. We've seen, with Reece, Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all the boys you want to name that are now in the first team and looking forward to this evening. This is where these boys are striving to be and down the line, and the momentum's key. Obviously, 3 wins on the spin does them a lot of good, confidence-wise, and obviously this is Leicester at the weekend. A 3-0 victory. It's never easy to go to the Foxes and win at any level, and 3-0 was a great result.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot has been made about the performance centre and the training facilities at Leicester City, and you're going to get that, aren't you? The better facilities, we're very lucky at Cobham to have sort of state-of-the-art, but that progression, that Leicester City side will continue to get better and better. So like you said, it's a big result and a big performance. A lot of the boys that have been rotated from today, obviously a few that have maintained their position, but I suppose it's one of those when you get your opportunity, because everybody's so competitive within the squad, you've got to take your chance.
Absolutely. Once you get that shirt on, you're in that starting 11. That was Ronnie Stutter there, had a header at the far post. But once you get that shirt and the opportunity to play 90 minutes, you've got to make the most of it. And as I said, a lot of these boys are looking to impress and make that next step up, PL2, and then obviously looking at the first team down the line.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot has been made, of course, recently about Frank Lampard's return to Stamford Bridge, and I suppose that'll be an additional little bonus because the players playing in the 18s will only have to look at, like you mentioned, Reece and Mason and Connor and Ruben and think, well, I know that this manager gives them opportunities. You never know what we're going to be playing for the rest of the season. So if I play well enough and I catch a manager's eye, you never know.
Yeah, exactly that. And as I said, it's a big stage to be playing on Chelsea Football Club, and you look at the rewards for doing the job the right way, and they're there in abundance, and these boys will realise that, and big responsibility for young guys like that, but they should embrace it.
Absolutely right. Yeah, we're going to see the team for Chelsea in just a moment. A couple of players for you to keep an eye on this morning/afternoon. I'll get that wrong countless times before we've even got going, no doubt about it. But number 10 being Tyreek George is a player that we know is capable of something very, very special. And a player I know a lot of Chelsea fans are very excited about as well.
Yeah, I saw clips of him at the weekend. Looks very effective in that sort of number 10 role, supporting the striker, Ronnie Stutter, and good technically. I've got a couple of shots on target at the weekend. I think made one of the goals, and looks a bright spark in there. And again, without touching too much on first team level, we need to score goals at all levels, and this guy's a creative influence in there, and certainly will help.
Absolutely right. You look at some of the players that have played a huge amount of football this season at this level in the 18s, and again, like you mentioned, the lure of PL2 football next season potentially, or even beyond that. Harrison Murray-Campbell starts again today. He's made more minutes for this under-18 side in the Premier League than anyone else. He's a centre-half, again, very accomplished, very good on the ball, can play in a 2, can play in a 3. He's a player as well, I imagine, especially at the moment with first-team players and injuries and then players moving on. Bashir Humphreys has made a huge impact at academy football for Chelsea. He's on loan in Germany at the moment, doing great things as well. So again, that development level, that step up for him is very clear, and that pathway is obvious.
Very much so, and the fact that these boys are out on loan gives them an opportunity to go up in the ladder. Obviously, if Bashir was still here, and we got boys on loan at Brighton and the various places in the first team level, and what it does, it opens the spaces for these guys to come and impress. Been very impressed with the 2 centre backs at the time I've seen them. They'd love to come forward with the ball. They look very comfortable on it. Both big guys, imposing guys, and as I said, looking at them, they've got good futures, but obviously, long way to go.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. And obviously, until fairly recently, under the tutelage of John Terry, obviously he's departed now to go to Leicester City, but his influence very much evident on those defenders. Let's have a little look at the teams then for this morning/afternoon. Hudson Sands starts in goal for Chelsea. Back 4, we think of Josh Achiampong, Billy G, Harrison Murray-Campbell and Somto Boniface. Keanu Dyer in the middle with Reece Russell-Denny, Atto Ampa, Ronnie Stutter, Tyreek George and Zane Silcott-Dubry as an attacking 4. Probably Ronnie Stutter will be the furthest forward of those 4. Lewis Flower, obviously an option from the Chelsea bench this afternoon, amongst others. Here's the West Brom under-18s starting 11 as well. A few players to keep an eye on. One, Archie Kearton's a special player. Oliver Bostock as well in a more advanced area. But again, this is a West Bromwich Albion side that have lost the last 6 in the Under-18s Premier League. So you'd imagine that Chelsea should have too much for them this afternoon. But I guess the old adage is football isn't played on paper.
Yeah, this played 90 minutes on a nice green pitch, and it is a nice green pitch today as well. But ironically, they played 17 games, and they've only conceded 32 goals, and we've conceded 34 in our game. So obviously defensively they're not that bad. I think their problem is sticking the ball in the back of the net, Joe, and let's hope they don't do that this afternoon.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. And again, we'll no doubt throughout the day be talking about the role of underdog and how we'd like to see that perhaps play into the favour of Chelsea today, but this very much isn't on that. The shoe is very much on the other foot as we kick off this afternoon, as we are about to get underway here at Cobham. Nice one for joining us. Make sure you keep those conversations coming in as Chelsea, a massive day for the football club on the Fifth Stand app and on our YouTube channel, social media channels as well. But this is where it all begins at Cobham with the next generation, and we are underway. Russell Denny straight away looking to press the ball forward for Chelsea, and it will be a test and an interesting opening to the game as well, because like you've mentioned, they are a good side, West Bromwich Albion. Don't concede a huge amount of goals in comparison, but Chelsea, I suppose, have lent themselves to being quite an open team this year and sort of given as good as they've got.
Yeah, very much so. And you look at the vein of form. We talked about confidence, touched on it in the intro, and you know, losing 6 games on the spin and winning 3 games on the spin is 2 totally different views today. And you think Chelsea would go at them with good pace early on and try and put them to the sword here.
Absolutely right. There's an early little sighting there of how Chelsea can spring a little bit further forward, a little bit more direct. Keanu Dyer there, Boniface with a nice stepper. Here is Murray Campbell, the player that's played more minutes than anybody else by some distance, in fact, for Chelsea in the Under-18s Premier League so far this year. He's, again, like we've already mentioned, a very accomplished player, and Billy G alongside him, again, a player that's we've seen play a little bit further forward as well for Chelsea in the past. Very good on the ball, and again, I suppose that's that development stage, isn't it, about Chelsea having to want to play out from the back and learning that progression and moving through the age groups. Chelsea very much set themselves up to play the same way in the 18s as they do the first team.
Well, the 2 centre-backs, G and Campbell, they basically very comfortable on the ball, love coming through into them spaces between the lines. And it was a poor ball there from Billy G, but more often than not, he can pick a pass, and as I said there, he stepped in there and done really well, and they look very bright at the back there.
First sighting potentially here as Tyreek Georgie starts a little bit, cuts it onto his left foot. Ooh. It's a really good save in the end and slash clear. Hollinshead tested early though from Tyreek George, and that's the exact position that you want your number 10 in, isn't it?
Absolutely. Again, he creates the space really well. Doesn't panic. Looks like he wants to shoot. Shapes with his right foot, pulls it back on his left. It's a really good save from the keeper, because I think he was slightly unsighted by the centre back there. Got down really well and pushed it out of that dangerous area. Really,
really good start for Chelsea in the opening 2 minutes here at Cobham, as Murray Campbell looks to spring it onto the far side, looking for Silcott Dewberry. Driving at the byline, looking for a deep cross, but it's just evaded everyone. But again, already in the first 2 and a bit minutes of play here at Cobham, already a sight and a goal, and Chelsea on the front foot. Yeah, good pace to the game early on, and as I said, if you're full of confidence and they're not, you really have to push at them and squeeze up high, and we're doing that. Chance perhaps already for Hollinshead just to slow things down a little bit, get his team's shape, and perhaps lend themselves to perhaps working their way into the game a little bit more. Long ball forward though, looking towards, it's going to be Walker on the left-hand side here. Oliver. It's a lovely first touch though, and Chelsea can try and get away, although it's intercepted off of Silcott Dewberry. Oliver again. Now Walker. It's a lovely attempted turn, but it's actually fallen to Sula in the end. Now Chelsea can try and spring it with Ronnie Stutter aiming to chase all the way down. The clearance isn't fully away, but thankfully for the goalkeeper, falls to a West Bromwich Albion body. Nice and bright though, wasn't he? I mean, the ball played over the top. Ronnie Stutter trying and got the end of it. Really didn't have a lot of chance, but goalkeeper nice and bright, helped his defenders out there. Chelsea a little bit too keen to get on with play there as 2 balls are on the pitch, but we're back underway, thankfully. It'll be interesting as well as this game progresses. Obviously not too many games remain for the under-18s this year, and quite a disappointing UEFA Youth League campaign and even FA Youth Cup for this group that is so used to winning and setting a good standard. But that's a lovely bit of play from Murray Campbell as he likes to clip the ball over the top for Ronnie Stutter. flag is up. But yeah, slightly disappointing, but I suppose it's important as well to deal with that disappointment, especially as a younger player. Your development is very important. Winning games is important, but I suppose selfishly you kind of have to look at your own performance and how you're progressing as a footballer at this age.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you have to look at yourself in the mirror and know you're doing the right things week in, week out, training wise, and obviously in these games. But the legacy that's behind them, obviously with the Youth League, Champions League, and obviously the FA Youth Cup. I mean, we've won so many of them titles over the years that it becomes a pressure for these boys. And yes, you've got to look at yourself, but as a unit, they want to be doing better and winning them titles, but not to be this year.
Absolutely, and like we will no doubt mention a lot this afternoon about players that are playing at an older age group. Firstly, as Williams tries to get in, though, I think he's going to concede a corner there. As it looked like it come off Atto Amper, but to the dismay of the West Brom fullback, Chelsea will take it though.
Well, it was because Williams actually could have clipped that into the box and he just let it run off there. And I thought, well, if you clip it, the striker was at the far post. He decided to let it go for a corner and got the decision wrong.
Yeah, very much about younger players that are playing. I mean, looking at Keanu Dyer here, who obviously burst into this team and very important, played in that UEFA Youth League, still 16 years of age. He's got lot of football still to play in front of him and already looking very accomplished at this against some of the boys in the West Brom team high end of 18. It's important to remember that as well. Chelsea are very comfortable with putting younger players into this to make sure they're acquitted as quickly as possible. And as we racing behind looking for another opportunity, Ronnie Stutter is always an option in the middle of the box, and here's Tyreek George.
Yeah, that's two balls from the left-hand side that haven't gone into the right areas. Silcott Dubry earlier, then on that occasion, George just overhitting. It's a bit too anxious there to get the ball in the box and overhit the cross. But going back to the UEFA Youth League, it's a fantastic experience to go to the likes of Madrid, which we've done in the past, Atletico and Real, Barcelona. You learn so much, the different technique, the way they play, the way they conduct themselves. And as I said, that learning curve is massive, and it does the boys the world of good. Even on the end of sometimes you get beat in them places, and it's you come back with a sour taste in your mouth. You do learn a lot from it.
Very much a level playing field as well, isn't it? Obviously, you've got the super clubs that have got the incredible academies, but Chelsea were outplayed for large periods of the game when they went over to Dinamo Zagreb, who have again got a fantastic academy. But the discourse and the difference between the first team and the two first teams and then the two academies, again, it's learning that different cultural approaches from a young age as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, Dinamo Zagreb have been renowned over the years. I mean, I got the guy, he wasn't from the youth team. I took Mark Viduka to Celtic from there. So I went over to Zagreb and watched loads of the youth team at that stage, 20 years ago. And they were fantastic then, bringing the best Croatians through. And you look, obviously now in the major competitions, they're always there or thereabouts. They're perennial losers, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, they do put themselves in situations where they can win competitions. And their systems over there do work.
Absolutely right. I mean, you'll see this evening at Stamford Bridge that Mateo Kovacic and Luka Modric will probably play a large part of the game for both teams. Obviously, both come through that academy system as well.
Exactly. You'll see two tonight who are world class, and I hope Kova gets the better of that battle, obviously.
Absolutely right. Here's Achiampong. Murray Campbell as well. Chelsea very comfortable in possession amongst that back four. Now George, opportunity maybe to run at Mohamed. Cuts inside instead. Unable to bring it down on that occasion, Josh Achiampong. Brilliant play from Keanu Dyer. Been so impressed with him this season. He's just, again, I know we mentioned it, but playing essentially 2 years above yourself already, looks so comfortable on the ball. Very rarely gives it away. Always picks the right ball.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, great technically. You can see, though, physically he's not there yet, and you can see that in his body. But given another couple of years, you can see he's going to bulk up and become a man as such. And yeah, technically he's very, very good. I mean, his dad wasn't bad either.
Yeah, not too bad, was he? Again, there's the additional pressure then of living up to your dad's legacy.
Yeah, yeah, but he's doing a good job so far.
Absolutely right. Stutter wearing the armband for Chelsea again today. Tyreek George. Now Silcott Dubry looking to spring a little bit more of an attacking impetus, as last 6 or 7 minutes have petered out a little bit. Bright start for Chelsea in the first couple, but it's got a little bit.
Yeah, it was. I thought the pace that we started really well. It was opening 2 minutes, you know, a shot on target and good save from the keeper low down. Since then, West Brom have come into the game. Bit unlucky not to have got a set piece just now, what they thought was a corner. But we just stepped off the pace. I mean, it's only 9 minutes gone, but they've certainly come into the game.
Let me ask you, Tommy, because you've obviously been in this position. When you've been playing in games like this, when you were coming through, when you were, you know, a younger player, the league's already gone in terms of West Ham have already won the league, and I know we talk about development, but is there a case of perhaps a little bit more? You need to find a way to get yourself more motivated for these sort of games towards the end of the season?
Not at this age for me, Joe. I think if you're not motivated to play for Chelsea Football Club and see where you can get, as we described very early in the commentary, you know, you can be in that first team game playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League down the line. You know, you want to impress on a week in, week out basis. And yeah, it looks as though it's going to, you know, end up into a nothing season for the boys, which is very unusual at this stage. But they have to do what's right week in, week out. It's all about good habits, and you get into good habits in games like this.
Defended well there, the corner again. Murray Campbell and Stutter as a combination being able to clear the ball for Chelsea. Reece Russell-Denny getting involved there as well.
Interesting, they got Crystal Palace at the weekend, which is a local derby, who also having a very, very good season. And you know, that's going to be a tough game, and let's see where that goes.
And the small matter as well of a PL2 London derby coming up as well against Tottenham Hotspur.
Our friends from White Hart Lane, yeah.
I've seen a few of those games, and there was one that lives long in the memory that Petr Cech played in. I think Danny Drinkwater got sent off as well. So even at whatever level Chelsea and Spurs are playing each other, there's always something on that.
I was doing the co-coms that game, and it was a belter.
Speaking of that, Josh Achiampong just gave the ball to Ato Ampa there. Now Tyreek George. Achiampong actually scored an absolute worldie against Spurs for the 18s earlier in the season. Cut inside, ripped in the top corner of his left foot. So perhaps he'll be looking at that a little bit, thinking, I've got form, gaffer. Give me an opportunity.
Yeah, give me a chance. But I have to say the crosses into the box so far have been disappointing. 2 from the left and that one from the right there. Ronnie Stutter, I mean, he wants to get on the end of it and he's making runs, but the quality of ball in there, Joe, at the moment hasn't been the best. So I think they need to sort of get the old free iron out and start hitting balls into the middle of the box and give him a chance, because they're quite big at the back, West Brom.
Absolutely right. Yeah, there's a few players that will be looking to perhaps pounce on that opportunity. Not only Ronnie Stutter, you know, you look at the Chelsea bench this afternoon. Lewis Flower, Donnell McNeely, both very much goal getters in chief as well. So at some point there will be a definite opportunity for somebody if the delivery is correct, and the quality that Chelsea have got in those wide angles will give it maybe just a warm into the task on hand. First 12 minutes here at Cobham, still goalless between Chelsea and West Brom. Best chance of the game so far falling to Tyreek George quite early. In fact, in the first 90 seconds, he wriggled away and had a shot saved from the edge of the area. And I suppose that warning sign could be Tyreek George again here, because he's got options. Silcott Dubry as support. Might not need him, George.
But again, the centre-backs come through with the ball, and it's a fantastic ball into a great channel. And Silcott Dubry there goes one-on-one, and he just cuts in on his right foot, and you expect to... Oh, sorry, it's George, is it?
Tyreek George,
Sorry, George, sorry, apologies. And he's cutting on his right foot there, and you expect him to hit the target. Just again, overhit it, bit anxious, snatched it a little bit. And but he's looking dangerous. The 2 shots we've had, he's had one that's made the keeper make a save, and that one just over the top. And again, looks a threat.
Absolutely, and even there, you know, popping up on the left-hand side, he's very much got that free roam in the 10 position. He's cut inside, can play either foot as well. Tyreek George, he's a player that's got a huge amount of ability, and no doubt as this game goes on, if he's having more of the ball and we keep talking about him a little bit more, it'll be a good time for Chelsea. Yeah,
the more he gets the ball, the more he's going to have an influence in that final third, which is where he shows his skills.
Decision's gone West Bromwich Albion's away for a throw in here. Narelle Phillips with the throw-in to Oliver, back to Phillips. Good work from Chelsea to play out of that though, if they can do now. High pressure from Bostock, and now West Bromwich Albion looking to create something themselves. A little chip ball in, but coming together between the goalkeeper and Sula. It's a save in the end.
Yeah, he's done well, Sands, in the end there, and his reaction to when the ball went loose, he got on it very quickly to stop any danger from West Brom. But again, it's a little bit sloppy at the back there. I think the ball played up to Amper wasn't the best, and I think he got stolen off of him, and the chance was created.
Here is Atto Amper again. Now Harrison Murray Campbell. Here's Boniface. Switch again. It's a lovely ball in from Murray Campbell. If Reece Russell-Denny's on side, which he isn't, doesn't fully agree with the decision. But again, that long ball over the top. Murray Campbell and Billy G, both very accomplished passers, and there's a chance for Chelsea to get in there a couple of occasions. Just perhaps the offside trap working only just for West Brom at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously you normally criticise strikers for not bending their runs, but that was a midfield player there, Denny, who got on the end of it. But again, he just a straight run, and they stepped up, and they played him offside. But again, it's good to see midfield players making runs in behind Ronnie Statter and trying to get in behind defenders.
Here is Reece Russell-Denny. Murray Campbell and Boniface again. Now Billy G. Actually, Amper looking to go on one of them marauding runs, but he's been intercepted, and now Denning can go the other way.
Oh, great ball.
Here's Walker. Half chance maybe, but snuffed out between G and Dyer in there as well.
Great little ball initially, wasn't it, that split the defenders into Walker, and he just sort of tried to feed a ball into that near post area. I think it was G just got a touch to it and deflected it out that danger area, but great ball into Walker in the first place.
Nice to see as well, considering Chelsea have had lion's share of the ball, those little moments that make sure that you're still switched on, and Billy G very much equal to it. Flags up for offside again, but you can see and hear the wind. It's definitely going to play a factor as the afternoon continues. Only 15 minutes still goalless. Tyreek George with the best 2 sightings of goal for Chelsea so far, but yet to find a breakthrough. Long raking pass forward towards Zola, but it's headed away by Billy G. Only 3 games after this one in the 18s Premier League for this group. As you've already mentioned, Tommy, Crystal Palace at the weekend, and then trips to Fulham and Brighton and Hove Albion to finish the season. So opportunity perhaps to finish on a high. A good little run they're on at the moment as well. So that momentum, and I suppose like we mentioned a little bit earlier, even if there's nothing silverware-wise to play for, there's always something to play for at this level. And
it's great to go out with 6 wins. I know, the start of the season wasn't the best. You can go out with 6 wins on the plate, and as I said, individually and as a team, feel good about the end of the season. You start pre-season on a very positive vein, and let's hope, as I said, it's a bit of a lull this game at the moment, and we need a spark from somewhere, sort of almost 20 minutes in. But you hope with the quality of our boys in particular, we can get that done. And the other thing about the last 3 games, obviously apart from Brighton, there's 2 very local derbies, and there's brownie points all over the place. And these boys, growing up in and around, I dare say a lot of them in the London area, would relish the Palace and the Fulham boys because they know a lot about them.
Oh, absolutely right, absolutely right. No matter what level you're playing at for Chelsea, there's always a derby game when you're playing against London opposition, and yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And you look at the development squad as well. Obviously in the PL2, they've still got obviously Spurs on Monday is a big one, but obviously next Friday as well, their final game against Brighton. So you wonder how many of those in this group at the moment perhaps are looking at that as an opportunity, as Stutter very nearly finds that corner. It's a good opportunity, and again, Stutter again looking lively and looking to try and get in behind at every opportunity.
Yeah, lovely. Them little darting runs he makes in behind. This is a fantastic ball over the defender's head. I mean, he's really put on a plate for him. Unfortunately, his first touch just drives him wide of that near post. He tries to steer it, and rightly so, into the far post area, and maybe the goalkeeper can get a save, and it pushes out for a rebound, but he doesn't get anything on it, and it just drifts wide of that far post. But the run was very good.
Again, another sign that Chelsea are beginning to create the better of the chances, and hopefully we'll find a breakthrough at some point in the not too distant future. 19 minutes played here at Cobham, still goalless. Here's Oliver looking for Zola, but intercepted by Billy G. Murray Campbell. Here's George. Now Silcott Dewberry.
Great ball.
It's a lovely switch of play. Atto Amper now on the ball. He's done really well as well. Defender stuck to his task well, though, as well.
Yeah, it was a good battle, wasn't it? And I think Amper done really well because he was nice and patient. He was waiting for that option, waiting for the defender, Williams, to sort of dive in a little bit. He eventually did and got back, but unfortunately the near post cross was cleared easily. But good to see that little battle one-on-one there.
A switch of play as well from Murray Campbell to start the move was fantastic. Good cross in from Achiampong.
Yeah, the service from the back has been excellent. I think one Billy G pass very early on, which he misplaced, trying to thread it through to the strikers. Apart from that, they've been exemplary, been absolutely top draw with their passing.
Here's Dyer. Silcott Dewberry. Dyer does well just to shrug off his West Bromwich Albion counterpart to make sure that he retains possession. Amper. Snapping tackle there from Sumnall. Game has kind of petered out a little bit. Sort of slow, patient approach. Chelsea still very much having the better of the ball and creating more opportunities. But I guess when you are playing a team that are on quite a difficult run, this will suit West Brom. Chelsea need to be the ones that are a little bit more patient. Need to perhaps retain what they're doing. Keep, like you said earlier, good habits, getting into those and making things happen. And eventually, your opportunity will come.
I think you're spot on. I think patience is the key in these games, and to be fair to West Brom, they're not going to come here and roll over. You know, they also, we talked about stages, and this is a stage for all West Brom fans to show Chelsea Football Club that we, you know, I'm a player, and by the way, I could almost play for you type thing. So they're also showcasing themselves, and they're not doing a bad job so far.
Absolutely, it's a lovely ball into Stutter.
Great ball.
Cross to Amper. Half chance, just couldn't get enough of a connection on it.
Well, it was a great move down the left-hand side, and again, the movement from Ronnie Stutter was superb. And this, the poacher-term gamekeeper there, he absolutely just threaded a fantastic ball into the near stick, and I think there's got to be better contact from Amper there. Didn't really get anything on it, and fell into the goalkeeper's arms.
Another good opportunity. We spoke about that patience, then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 passes, and you spring the trap and you're in. Zola, good battle between him and Murray Campbell, but ball's fallen to Oliver, and now Williams. Walker, excuse me. He's done well there, Achiampong, to stand up against him, but Adriel Walker wins the corner. Opportunity now perhaps for West Brom to ask 1 or 2 questions of Chelsea, and in particular, Jamal Mohammed to come up from the back. He's big unit, is number 5, as is Jensen Sumnall, in fairness. 2 centre-halves will be keen to try and impose themselves on the opposition here.
Yeah, if you look at Sewell as well, Sewell's a big boy, and you know, a good ball in the box, which that was. But fortunately, Chelsea did really well to get the clearance.
Oh, Stutter, he's not going to be able to see him, but Keanu Dyer on this right-hand side is busting her gut to try and get through. It's brilliant play from Ronnie Stutter. Now George, Dyer, Silcott Dewberry. Stutter again. Dyer exchanging passes with him. George might open up. Oh, it's a good hit as well. Unable to keep it on target, but Santo Boniface there with the attempt at goal.
Yeah, that was all set up by Ronnie Stutter. I mean, the ball's got cleared from the corner and he's ended up running down the left-hand side there, and he's stopping and starting the defender. The defender couldn't dive in because when he's stopping it, he was just moving it straight away again. And very hard for the defender to time a challenge, and they held the ball up really well and got the chance because of it. Good work from the captain.
Foul conceded by Murray Campbell. Another opportunity perhaps for West Brom to ask a question aerially of Chelsea, but so far every question that's been answered emphatically from the home team.
But you're right, you look at the size of Mohamed and Sumnal. They're big boys, and that's a Saul. You know, quality ball in the box could do some damage.
Absolutely. Within swing of his, and as far as Dyer. Stutter again does well. Here's Amper. Oliver. Mohamed. All the way back to Hollins heading goal. Halfway through this first half here at Cobham, still goalless between Chelsea and West Bromwich Albion. Here's Billy G. Now Boniface back to G again. Silcock Dubry. Who will be the most pleased out of the two managers so far, Tommy?
Well, I think the form West Brom are in, definitely them. I mean, they've stuck to their task well, and Chelsea, while huffing and puffing, just wait what they got here, but it's a poor execution there from Russell Denny, and you know, he's trying to pick. I think he's trying to pick out Stutter, but overhit the pass. But looking at West Brom, their work ethic's fantastic. They've had a couple of sort of scrambles in the box, not made most of the set pieces. Their last one was so poor. They bring up the two big centre-backs and the striker, and hit the first Chelsea defender. So he'd be disappointed at that. But I think generally their game plan's working well. They're frustrating Chelsea, and as you made point, you know, Chelsea need to remain patient and hope their skills come shining through in the end.
Yeah, Silcock Dubry, who's one of those players who's got that shining skill you mentioned there. Here's Tyrick George. Lost count of the amount of step overs there, but he's driven to the byline. We highlighted him before the game, Tyrick George, for being one of those players that can create a piece of magic and can make something happen. And you can see every time he gets on the ball, he looks lively, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was nice. Good feet. I mean, he eventually got to the byline, clipped a ball into the near stick. Again, the angle didn't favour him, and it fell into the goalkeeper's arms. Lack of options in the box as well. Only two Chelsea players in there, so very hard to pick somebody out. But yeah, he's got something, hasn't he? You know, you look at him and he sort of he lights the game up a little bit.
He has got that quality, isn't he? To just gets on the ball, he can make things happen. He's a player that I know. I mean, we've been spoilt here at Chelsea to have players like that for quite a while, but he certainly fits the mould of a Chelsea number 10, doesn't he?
Yeah, if you look at the youth team over the years, and they've had lots and abundance of players that can do that and pleasing to the eye, and he's certainly one of them. And you know, you need a spark in all teams, and he certainly creates that.
Free kick midway through the Chelsea half for West Bromwich Albion to attack. Cole Deaning stood over it. Oliver. Archie Oliver driving into the Chelsea box. Now an opportunity potentially for Kearton. Clip ball over the top. It's defended well by Achiampong, who heads it up and then into the gloves of Hudson Sands.
Yeah, he's done well there, Ampong. He's tracked the runner, he got himself in a really good position and nodded it back there. I think maybe he should have got a call earlier from the goalkeeper because there was not a lot of pressure on him, but eventually they come out and, as I said, danger's gone. West Brom just finding their feet a little bit. They're not really creating loads of chances. You can't say there's a threat, but they're looking more and more comfortable.
Jose Champong, he's got options with 3 or 4. He uses Atahuampa on the right-hand side.
He's done well. That's Williams. I think he's done really well there. Knew exactly what was going on there, and he's going to try and drive to the byline and got his body in front of the striker there.
A couple of times now that matchup is going to be one to keep an eye on because...
I think that's 1-1, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Hollinshead goes along looking for Sewell. In fact, it's a little bit shorter than that. Gone to Kearton. Williams does well to keep it in play there. Walker, now Bostock. Chance potentially for West Brom to create something here. Kearton.
Oh, it was a goal.
It's a brilliant finish from Archie Kearton against the run of play, but first real sight in a goal for West Bromwich Albion, and they've made Chelsea pay. Yeah,
initially it was a great move down this left-hand side. We talked about West Brom finding their feet and coming into the game. Great move down the left-hand side. He eventually got to Bostock, and you can see he's looking up, and then they've got plenty of bodies coming into the box here, and the ball eventually falls to Kearton. And his first touch is great, gets it out of his feet, nothing else in his mind but to steer it into that far post. To be fair to Sands, good position but no chance, if such was the quality of the strike. He say gets it out of his feet here, nice little bender into the top corner. Chelsea find themselves 1-0 down.
It's a really good finish from Archie Kearton. He's a player they have very high thoughts of at this level, and another player that's perhaps been a little bit quiet in the first exchanges of this one, and in fact his first under-18s Premier League goal of the season. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why that he's been a little bit quiet, because he's pulled that one out of the bag on the biggest stage so far, so fair play.
Well, as I said, if you're going to put yourself in the shop window, hit a 20-yarder into the top corner. That works, by the way. And no, it was a great finish. And I can't remember calling his name in the commentary anyway. I mean, he's been down the left-hand side here, and Walker and Williams have linked up nicely down the left. But Kearton's hardly had a touch in there, and yeah, it could have been his first or second touch. Pings it into the top corner.
There's not many places better to do it than on a Champions League night at Cobham, when you never know who's going to be watching, do you? So
absolutely.
It's a great finish. We spoke about perhaps this game needed a little bit of moment, a magic or something special, and unfortunately we've had that, but from one of the players wearing yellow this morning. So this afternoon even, West Bromwich Albion lead by a goal to 0 thanks to Archie Kearton. Chelsea had the better of play and better of the chances until that moment, but brilliant finish into the top right corner, and Chelsea looking to immediately react, but unfortunately it's scampered away from Atahuampa there. Will the message be keep doing what you were doing to Chelsea, because the goal has come against the run of play and not really done a lot wrong to that point?
No, they haven't. The one thing I would say is disappointing from our point of view. We haven't really tested Hollinshead with anything apart from that first shot, which he saved well down low to his right-hand side. So I think from Chelsea's point of view, yeah, we need to up the ante a little bit. I think the pace of the game dropped, and I think that suited West Brom as opposed to us. Now that goal should spark us into life, and you know, we spoke before about ability and all the rest of the superlatives. This is now about character. You know, this is another show. Can you show the character to get back into the game and work your way into it? And let's see if they've got that.
Here's Silcott Dewberry. Oh, he's intercepted there, and Kearton now growing into the game himself. Yeah, you mentioned about that character, and I suppose for West Brom on a very difficult run, this is a position that they'll have hoped rather than expected to be in. So now they're in that position again. They're very, very capable, very good side, very, as we've seen in the first 33 minutes here, very capable, excellent group of young footballers. So this is a real challenge for Chelsea now, but there'll need to be something. Although Captain Ronnie Stutter leading by example, pressuring the goalkeeper, and there's no foul. Could be an opportunity here for Stutter to shoot from distance.
Oh, he's unlucky. It's funny, both the captains there had a meeting, but you wouldn't expect to meet the opposing captain halfway up the pitch when he's a goalkeeper. But Ronnie did, and eventually got the ball to his feet, and he's tried to ping it into the top corner. 2 defenders would have got it anyway, I think, but goalkeeper was in no man's land.
Very used to seeing any contact with the goalkeeper being whistled by the referee and given as a foul. So, in a more natural perspective as well, it was nice to see no contact with the goalkeeper given as something. It was quite easily for the official to whistle there and just pull proceedings to a close, but fair play to both the goalkeeper and Ronnie Stutter. Neither made a big deal of it, and unfortunately Stutter unable to find the corner.
Yeah, I think at this level there's a slightly more honesty. Is that the right word? Without wishing to sort of
I can't think of another one, so you can have that.
That's a decent word. Yeah, it's a nice word.
Just over 10 minutes to play here at Cobham until half-time. West Brom lead through Archie Kearton. Here's Williams. Driving into the Chelsea half now, Alex Williams. Could be a bit of space for Atto Amper to get behind.
That's a poor ball. You know, Williams has made that run forward, and the space, he's left the space in behind, and a good ball there through to Amper, and he would have been in, but it was an overhit.
This will be, again, different territory for West Brom so far. I mean, last win coming away at Norwich City in February, so it's been a little bit of a nightmare for them the last 6 games, all defeats in the Under-18s Premier League. And never beaten Chelsea at this level either. So they've had a couple of draws in their previous visits, but never beaten Chelsea. So this is a big opportunity for them. And like you said, there never needs to be an additional motivation, but if there was one, that's probably it.
Wasn't that similar on Saturday? Didn't Brighton never beaten us at Stamford Bridge? So let's hope lightning doesn't strike twice. But
I don't like them records anymore.
No. Let's not talk about that. But look, you know, we know, we've talked about our players, and we know they're capable of upping the ante at any one stage. And you know, a couple of misplaced passes, and there's one shot that's tested the keeper. I'm sure in the next sort of 45 and 10, you know, 55 minutes, yeah, there'll be some action in the box. But at the moment, I think the West Brom game plan's working better than ours. I mean, they said they're working hard. Look at that. There's 3 people around the ball on Billy G, but he's managed to get the ball through them.
Chance here for Silcott Dubry. He's got Stutter and G, and uses Dyer. Boniface has come inside a little bit. Space on the left-hand side for Tyreek George. It's a lovely through ball to Silcott Dubry. Flags up for offside though.
Yeah, again, it's a lazy run. You've got to look along the line there. You're wide. You can easily look along the line of the defenders and make sure you time your run better, and that would disappoint.
Chance for West Brom as well to just breathe a few more seconds away from Chelsea, and again, at half time I think it'll be 2 very different conversations, because one will be delighted the fact that they've taken the lead into this, but I don't imagine there'll be too much displeasure from Chelsea either. They've not been poor by any marks, have they? It's just been maybe a case of needing to create a little bit more, which I think we could have that conversation about a number of Chelsea teams at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and at the moment they're getting beat by Weldy. I mean, let's be honest, the goal was a quality goal, and it's not actually befitting the rest of the game, because it sort of stands out. But you know, as I said, Chelsea have got the ability, and I think, you know, if I'm totally frank, I think, you know, the wide players need to give us more. Amper on one side, Silcott Dubry on the other. We're not seeing enough of them as a threat going forward. We've seen, you know, Stutter do his thing, make a couple of good runs, and obviously George is getting in and around the box and looking a threat. But I think the 2 wide boys, when they've got there, haven't really hit good balls into the box anyway. So just a little bit more out of them.
Absolutely, and you've got plenty of options for Chelsea to look towards should the game continue to be out of their hands for a little while longer. I mean, Chinoza Chibueze's an attacking wide player. He's made a big impact off the bench on a number of occasions this season. You're looking at Donnell McNeely's Chelsea's top goal scorer at this level this season. You know, and Lewis Flower as well, another player very capable of playing in any of the 3 or 4 attacking positions for Chelsea. So there is versatility and options within the group, and opportunity now for Atto Amper, the man in control of that 7 shirt, to make his mark on the game. Unfortunately not on that occasion, but maybe the chance isn't over as Achi Ampong has regained possession for Chelsea. Here's Murray Campbell. Opens up a little bit for Murray Campbell. Little scoop ball over the top to Amper. Here's that battle against Williams. He drives inside. Very nearly fell for him again, but we spoke about that one-on-one battle between him and Williams.
I like that though, Joe, because he changed his game up. He went down to the byline twice on his right foot. On that occasion, Williams thought he's going the same way, and he's tricked him. He's gone in on his left. Unfortunately, it was a scuff with his left foot. He had a great chance to it. He hit the target. That's all you can say was good about it. And there was no power in the shot, and it was easily cleared. But better there, because the trainer thought was the defender. He's going to go to the byline. He's tricked him there, gone inside. Unfortunately, the shot wasn't the best.
So the next time they come up against each other, is that something you want to sow into the seed of a defender? That I might chop inside this time. You kind of think you've got me worked out, but you haven't.
Absolutely, you know, especially when the good wide players, they can play tricks on you, and they're not going to go the same way every time. And he's obviously got a yard of pace as well, and he showed that coming in on his left foot. But as I said, the shot wasn't the best, but I think there'll be a bit of doubt in Williams' mind now.
Just a shade over 5 minutes to play here at Cobham in the first half. Chelsea trail by brilliant goal from Archie Kearton, just short of the half-hour mark. Unfortunately, unable to keep it in play on that far side is Zane Silcott-Dewberry.
George is floating out to that left-hand side. He seems to sort of favour going out there as opposed to the right. But we've got enough quality down there to sort of... And I think the free bodies is not needed down there. That's a great ball.
Amper could be in here. Hollinshead quick off his line again, though. We've seen that a couple of times, haven't we?
That's the third time, isn't it? I mean, he had one early on, then he had that battle with Stutter, and he's come away there. And I think Amper was in there, and great reactions again from the keeper.
It's only his third start at this level for the goalkeeper, Ronnie Hollinshead. So he's still, again, another one who's fairly new to this level.
Yeah, and if you look at his contribution so far, I mean, 3 times he's come out, helps defence, and one very good save down low to the early shot from George. So 40 minutes in, he'd be very happy with his performance.
Absolutely. And thus far, keeping a clean sheet at Cobham as well. So he'll be pleased with his afternoon's work so far, but plenty of football still to play this afternoon. Amper there, unfortunately, unable to keep it in play as we approach half-time. Flick on from Walker. Sewell can't keep it in play. Chelsea want to get on with it with Murray Campbell to Boniface. Silcott-Dewberry. It's a lovely ball if Ronnie Stutter's onside. Oh, which I don't think he is, unfortunately.
No, again, and I mean, there's a much better ball from Silcott-Dewberry. They're driven into him, and again, Ronnie's just not timed his run well enough. He's got in between the 2 defenders, but just sort of gone forward slightly too early. First touch was good, and but unfortunately, he's dragged himself offside.
Well, you mentioned putting the sandwich back in the bag and getting a 4-iron out. Well, that was a little bit more like it, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And as you made the point earlier, it is a very windy day at Cobham, and sometimes you hit them high and they sort of get taken. So yeah, I think it was a much better trajectory for the ball, and it favoured the striker. Unfortunately, as I said, he drifted offside.
Well, nearly a mix-up between Billy G and Murray Campbell there. It's gone out for a goal kick again, to the dismay of Walker. But again, just another little reminder, not that they'll need them because they are one down, but a little reminder that West Brom are very much in this game. And although Chelsea can have lion's share of ball for quite a lot of the play in the first half, and arguably the better of the chances still, West Brom are very much capable of springing a trap, and Chelsea have got to be aware.
Yeah, I think in every game, possession's 9/10 of the law, and if you've got that, you've got the ball, then it's very hard for the other team to impose themselves. But when you have that possession, and the possession stats show you've got 60-70%, you have to make use of it. You have to, in the final third, you have to punish them. And as I said, we've not tested the goalkeeper enough. One shot, again, we've made the point, it's saved very well. Apart from that, it's just through balls that he's come out and had to clear. So I think the final ball needs to be better from Chelsea, and if they can get that right, then the runs of Stutter, he's going to get on the end of them.
A couple of minutes, just over 90 seconds until half-time here at Cobham. Murray Campbell on the ball now for Chelsea. Steps forward. A little bit of space for Harrison Murray Campbell to pick up. There's his captain, Ronnie Stutter, on the halfway line. Josh Achiampong to Keanu Dyer. Trying to get on with things as quickly as possible. Time in the first half very much ticking away quickly for Chelsea. Now Reece Russell-Denny. Could be a chance here for Stutter.
Again, great. I mean, a great ball from Russell-Denny there. I mean, he's just threaded it into an area. Again, it just made, if I've got a criticism, just a little bit too wide for Ronnie Stutter to get in, and the angle didn't favour him. Tries to hit it into the near post, which he shouldn't have done. He should have aimed at the far, and a chance goes astray again. But again, that little through ball and his run was so good. He just, as I said, dragged him a little bit wide.
Yeah, very lively in his movement is Ronnie Stutter. You've picked up a few times how, you know, that option for him to be there. He's very busy, doesn't he? Likes to give himself an option as a midfield player as well. I imagine that's an absolute dream to play alongside.
If you've got no movement up front and you've got the ball, you've got a problem. And I said his little, and then just they're subtle runs. They're not sort of, you know, I know maybe criticised a little bit as he dragged himself offside on a couple of occasions. But on that occasion, there was a subtle run in between the two defenders that said the angle didn't favour him, and he just tried to hit into the near post. But if you're a midfield player and you see them runs, just feed them into him.
2-2 between Williams and Atalampo. The defender's done really well there.
Yeah, well, he's tried to go inside again there, and but Williams has sussed him out there and got his foot on the ball. You know, sometimes, I mean, we've seen George with a step over, we've seen Silcott Dubry with a step over, and Amper as well with step overs. Just sometimes you don't need to do that. Just get the ball down and knock it past him. You know, I think sometimes, yeah, boys at this age can overcomplicate it. It's all a learning process, and I fully understand that. But you know, you don't need to do step overs all the time.
Could be a final chance potentially if clock allows it for Chelsea to get back into this game in the first half. Here's Dyer.
Oh, got a chance.
Oh, looked like it was a big collision between, I think it's Phillips and Boniface.
Yeah, Boniface and you say Phillips went for it. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's actually hit Boniface and floated over Mohamed. And obviously, I thought Ronnie Stutter was going to get on the end of it. Unfortunately, the bounce beat him and fell into the arms of the goalkeeper. But it's a painful one. It looks like got a wrap on his ankle there.
Thankfully, looks okay. Yeah, like you said, very nearly got lucky with the ricochet as well. He's made a great attempt to try and get on the ball, as we can see here.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, he just caught him on the ankle there with the follow through, and it's a sore one, but it'll be okay.
As you mentioned, that honesty at this level, because I think I think we may have been looking at a pitch side monitor at some point.
Yeah, I think VAR might have got involved with that one because he'd been rolling all over the place. But no, as I said, Boniface very honest there. He got a painful one, but handled it very well.
Silcott Dubry just tries to sting one into the path of Ronnie Stutter. Mohamed does well.
Yeah, he's done well, Mohamed there. The ball favoured him, to be fair. It was just overhit, give the defender a chance to get back, but did reel there, was big and strong.
And that is the half-time whistle here at Cobham. Unfortunately, the only bright spark in that first half has been from Archie Kearton, who's wrapped one into the top corner, and that is the difference. Chelsea have been the better side, had a lot more of the ball, but the telling moment has come from the team in yellow, Tommy.
Yeah, very much so. I said the one moment of real quality in the first half. Curtin got the ball out of his feet and wrapped one into the top corner. Goalkeeper Sands absolutely no chance, and that's the telling factor of the half. Chelsea had better possession, looked more comfortable on the ball, but they've worked hard, West Brom, and got themselves into the game. And at the moment, at half-time, lead 1-0.
Absolutely right. Yeah, they lead by a goal to nil. Let's have a little look at the first half and how it happened. Pretty much here at Cobham, it's a lot of football still to play. A lot still happening, but one or two highlights for Chelsea to be encouraged by and enthused by. And again, a very bright opening for Chelsea, and it started very, very quickly. Tariq George has been a player that Chelsea have seen a fair bit of in the first half, and you want to see a little bit more of him because this is what he's capable of.
Yeah, he was very patient here, picked his moment, hit a great strike to the near post. This is 90 seconds in, and we thought from then it was just going to be a procession for Chelsea. Ronnie Stutcher just feeds it in. Patient here, looks to shape a shot with his right foot, cuts in on his left. Real good strike into the far corner, good early save from Hollingshead, and kept West Brom in the game at that stage.
Another chance here for Tyreek George again. Opportunity to just a little sighting at goal and just strikes it over.
Yeah, again, it's good movement on that left-hand side. He tends to favour the left-hand side, cuts in on his right foot there, and just tries to overhit it, gets too much power on it, and unfortunately goes wide of the target.
Been all Chelsea's way, though, and here's the first real sighting of the high press from West Brom, and again, Bostock largely involved.
Yeah, and it was Amper lost the ball there, and as you said, Bostock just floated the ball through, and the keeper does very well there, comes out and gets it at the second attempt.
He's done well so far. Hudson Sands in goal for Chelsea. And again, you'll see largely good passages of play for Chelsea. Ronnie Stutcher very nearly getting in on this occasion, and he's only a couple of millimetres away, I think, from wrapping it in that far post.
Yeah, again, it's a lovely little ball floated over Mohamed Zed. His first touch is decent, but just takes him away from goal, which is, and the angle doesn't favour him. Tries to get it into the far post, but can't hit the target.
Nice play down this left-hand side between Silcott Dubry and Tyreek George, and Boniface with a strike from range.
Yeah, again, it's not on his favoured left foot there, but it's on his right, but he does his best to hit it on the target. Again, though, doesn't really test the goalkeeper.
And then the breakthrough did come, unfortunately. It's not too far away, but it wasn't for Chelsea, and for a second, we thought that maybe we would see it here.
Yeah. Again, it's the spark of the first half. George for Chelsea getting to the byline. Again, the angle doesn't favour him. Goalkeeper's nice and bright. It's an easy catch for him at the near post here.
Well, for a second there, that was shaping up to maybe be squared or take a little deflection. You've seen so many of those ricochet into the far corner.
Yeah, if he's got a choice, I think he should try and pull it back to the penalty spot, but he didn't.
Okay. Unfortunately so. And here is the opener. Bostock involved, back to Kearton, and he does the rest.
Yeah, great little bit of movement down the left-hand side. It goes through to Bostock, picks a pass up. Kearton's first touch is great, gets it out of his feet. His second just wraps it into the top corner. Again, goalkeeper, no chance. It was a real good move from the back. This ball here is great. As I said, his first touch is really good, and he doesn't have to have another one. His second one just pings it into the top corner.
Yeah, it is a moment of brilliance from West Brom's number 7, and I think if you're going to pick a little moment of magic to have, doing that at Cobham against Chelsea for your team when you've lost 6 on the bounce is probably the place you'd pick to do it. So a great first half of football here at Cobham. Still plenty of football to come today. Obviously, there is a massive game this evening. So let's hear from Chelsea boss Frank Lampard as he spoke to the press ahead of Real Madrid's visit to Stamford Bridge.
We're not where we want to be. I think the word broken is a bit much, but we're not where we want to be. And that's clear. League position is a reality in the Premier League. We're 2-0 down in this game. So I think those things are just reality. We have to work against that and show in every way we can because we're in that moment. I don't think anything tomorrow will be better than winning the Champions League, from my opinion, because we had many moments on that run of difficulties against Barcelona in that game and Napoli and all this. It was a huge run where there were a lot of big achievements. But I understand your point. I think for us, considering the result now, considering the team we're up against, because in that moment that we're in, we have to fight really hard to make it happen. So, of course, that would be special. Thank you.
Gary Cotterill, Sky Sports News.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Gary.
Obviously, you were disappointed after the game on Saturday. You used words like lacking capacity and in need of physical work. You were speaking on large about mental work as well, but some have taken you saying lacking capacity and in need of physical work as a criticism of players not being fit enough, so a criticism of the previous regime. Is that how you meant it?
No, I think that's how you've taken it on that side, because I think I'm always big in football on personal responsibility as a player and as a group, to be fair. So when I'm talking like that, I'm not blaming anyone else on what I see now and what I see in the future. So it's just something that we have to address now and address going forward, because it's a big part of the game, and we do a lot of work and delve into the data, the statistics, the output of what we're putting into games. And this is absolutely, I think I said it the other day, not a question of commitment of players, but my job is to try and focus in on points that we can get better at to compete at this level. And I think it's something that I note as a short-term thing that we can certainly improve on, and that's what we're going to do.
Matt Law, Daily Telegraph.
Hiya, Frank.
Hi.
After the weekend's defeat, the owners went into the dressing room, and I believe Todd addressed the players and had some quite strong language and encouraging language, both things by the sounds of it. Kepper's just said that it's normal that they go in the dressing room, virtually every game, he said. Is that healthy? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I am comfortable with that, and I think for me, there's maybe some criticism of our old owner of not coming to the games and not being around, and that wasn't always true, to be fair. But I think when an owner is very vested in their interest in the team and wanting to help and improve, I think it's their prerogative to have the input that they want. I remember the moments as a player of owners first coming into dressing rooms. Actually happened here at Chelsea. It never really happened to me before, and I remember being really happy that the owner, you could touch them, you could high-five them, you could listen to them and feel them. So I don't think that's a bad thing in terms of the identity of the club and where you want to get to. So I have no problem with it. And from my point of view, I had my things to say after the game. If an owner comes in and wants to be positive and wants to speak to the players, then I think it's absolutely his part to do that. And like Kerr, I think, has said there, it can be very regular in the modern day. No problem. In fact, it shows passion, and that's the first thing that I like. So, yeah, that's it.
John Cross,
Thanks,
Daily Mirror.
Hello, Frank. I was just going to ask you, how important is the atmosphere tomorrow night if you want to turn this tie around? Because there's obviously a bit of anger and angst towards particularly the ownership on Saturday, and the atmosphere can be negative. So how important is it that it's positive and gets behind the team tomorrow night to turn it around?
I've got no doubt it will be positive. And when I talk about that, I talk about the lead to the game, the start of the game. I think the rest is a little bit down to us. It's down to us as a team to play with a real desire and a know-how to try and turn this game around. I think for sure. I've been here too many times in this level of game at Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge on an evening, midweek Champions League knockout game, to understand that the atmosphere is going to be great. And again, now it's time for us to tap into that early in the game and make sure that we engage the crowd throughout, because they can help us for sure. That's why we're at home. That's why this two-legged competition is the best out there. So yeah, I'm confident in that. We just need to play our part.
Carrie Brown, be in. Matt, pass the mic to Carrie, and then you can have it back. Thanks.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Just take you back to two big Champions League moments. 2012 in the Nou Camp, a huge occasion, and the man with the winner at the last moment, a man that we knew was quality and couldn't find that quality, Fernando Torres, who then went on a great run of form after that, and also the cruelty of you leaving the club as the manager in your last stage when you got them into the last 16. In terms of the players you have in that dressing room, you talk about you have complete belief in their commitment, but just the true performances for them aren't coming through. Does this give you an opportunity to show them that it happened to Fernando Torres in a competition away from the league? You can really prove yourself. And you left those players who went all the way to that Champions League final to win it against City. Do you still see there is enough of that culture and belief in that dressing room to put on that performance again tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think anything is possible in football anyway, and there's no doubt that we're a competitive team and we deserve to be here in this stage of the competition. We also understand that the opponent is really high level. I think it's got to be careful to compare to previous moments or actions or games, because for Fernando Torres running through and rounding the keeper and scoring this amazing goal for Chelsea, there's like a big body of work behind that, and maybe good and bad and difficult moments, and that's a personal thing for Fernando, and it was a group thing for us. We'd lost semi-finals, we'd lost quarter-finals, we'd lost the final, so there's always a lot of backstory to it. The only thing, when you look back on those things, is to say that it's always possible to create that story and start that story, and we do have that opportunity. So I think it's not worth comparing too much. It's just worth focusing on the here and now with a little understanding that if we get things right, if we work hard, if we do the right things in the game, then anything is possible.
Is there enough of that?
Hang on, Carrie. We're going to give everyone a chance, otherwise there's too many people here. Front row, gentleman on the right-hand side with the headphones on. Pass the microphone along, please. Thank you.
Hola, Frank. Hi Frank. You've been in football for a long time as a player and a coach. How do you explain the strength that Real Madrid have over the years? Even if they're not playing well in the Champions, they're always, doesn't matter if they've signed new players or not, they're always performing well in the Champions. They're always a competitive team in the Champions League. Where does this come from?
Know the exact Real Madrid story from inside, but to look on the outside, firstly they have a great coach who I understand very well from working with him. So I think he needs to take full credit in this moment, because what we saw last year in their run to the final was an amazing resilience that he led. And then what's very visible from the outside is a core of players that have been there for a very long time, playing at the highest level year after year, which means that they have talent and work ethic and leadership skills, and they drive the group as I see it. And I'm talking obviously about Modric and Kroos and Benzema and others. So I think they have a very good recipe for a team that will be successful over a period of time. They also have individual talent that can win a game in any moment, whether they are in control or without control. And I think those special players at the top end of the pitch at this level can be absolutely crucial to success, and they have those. So they have a very good overall unit to have the success that they've had for so long.
Matt Dunn.
Hi, Frank. We spoke about the owners a few moments ago. Regardless what happens to you in the next few weeks in the club, I'm sure as a sort of club hero, your interest is in Chelsea being in the best shape it is when you leave going forward. With that in mind, are you able to help the owners through some of the intricacies of English football? Because, I mean, I don't know, we all winced for you, I think, when Todd Bowley was proudly predicting a 3-0 win in Madrid, and it's not the sort of thing perhaps an English owner does, and there's certain things that seem to be rankling with the fans that perhaps they need to learn culturally, should we say, about the game over here. Is that something you can help them with?
No, all I'll do is speak honestly about how I see the club and do my work. And whilst I'm here and I am manager of the football club in this period, I'll speak honestly. I'll do my work on the training ground and have a lot of communication, because that's my job, and I'm good with that, and I have a lot of care for this club, and that's my job. It's not my job to sort of consider people's approaches or these things. I'll just speak honestly myself about what I see.
Frank Lampard speaking ahead of Chelsea's second leg tonight against Real Madrid at Stamford Bridge for a semi-final place in the Champions League. Quick one on that, Tommy. It's a massive, massive game, obviously. And I think every Chelsea fan, I certainly keep doing it. I keep doing it going, this is Chelsea, there's always a chance.
Yeah, and Frank alluded to in that interview the year which we won it when we went to Munich, and you know, you look at Napoli at home when we were behind the 8 ball, you know, away at Barcelona, all them sort of games where you scraped through, but by showing sheer character and sheer, you know, commitment to the cause. And that's what we've got to start with tonight, and Frank knows that. You know, we've got to go there with belief, but we've got to go there with a commitment which we've never had we haven't had for a long time, and let's hope, you know, so we get a stroke of luck. You know, I know we haven't played well, I understand all of that, and I'm not going to super gloss it over, but we haven't had the run of the ball in certain occasions either, and I think if we can get a little bit of luck tonight, and maybe that first bit of luck we had was at the weekend when Conor Gallagher's strike hit Lewis Duncan, wrong-footed the keeper. I know the result wasn't what we wanted, but you know, hopefully the tide might turn a little bit tonight, and if we can get a goal in the first sort of 10-15 minutes, and then just get the crowd behind them a little bit, and make Real Madrid nervous, because as experienced as they are, you know, you want to put them under the cosh and see how they react. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I love my football club, and obviously, you know, I just hope that we can create the miracle tonight and get over the line.
Absolutely right. And again, if you're a Chelsea player that's in that dressing room and you look across and you've got a manager that's not only has been there and won it, but also been in situations like you've mentioned, difficult games where up against it, where you're being counted out before the ball's even kicked, and then all of a sudden you go, but he's been here, he's done it, he knows what he's talking about.
There's another guy working alongside him, a gentleman called Ashley Cole, who for my mind was the best left back in the world when he was playing for us. And I remember a clearance at Napoli where he cleared the ball off the line, and had that gone in late on, we'd have gone to Stamford Bridge, which was a major deficit, and not gone over the line. So he also knows what the game's about tonight and what's needed. So between Super Frank and Ashley and Joe and all these sort of guys, there's a love, there's a belief, and there's an obvious commitment, and we need that to be shown on the pitch by the 11 that he chooses, which is the other debate, which we could probably spend another hour on, which is what's going to be the 11. But whatever happens, I'll be there with me scarf and me rattle cheering them on. That's for sure.
Love to see it, mate. Love to see it. And no, you're absolutely right. And I'm sure that there'll be plenty of Chelsea conversations that people will be having now about talking about who they do. What formation they go with tonight. A 4 at the back, a 3 at the back. Would they start this person? Would they start that person? Chelsea without a few. But again, coming back to it, there are so many parallels. There are so many similarities. Chelsea games where they've needed a result, they've been up against it. Players have been suspended. People are counting you out already. And Chelsea find a way, and that's what this football club can do, and that is why we're all going to be tuning in tonight and all having that little seed of going, this is Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. You never know. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. Let's hope. But 10 o'clock tonight, we're walking away from Stamford Bridge, looking forward to the semi-final.
Absolutely, mate. I have a feeling it might be closer to 11 though, and after
I'll settle for that. I don't need to go a bit early.
after 1 or 2 spot kicks, but we'll take it however it comes. Very much looking forward to it. And of course, we'll have Matchday Live a little bit later on the Fifth Stand app, on Chelsea's YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and all social media channels as well. So wherever you're tuning in from in the world, make sure you join us for that one, because we're in this together, and you never know. As for this one though, back at Cobham, second half about to get underway as Chelsea take on West Bromwich Albion. They trail West Bromwich Albion by a brilliant goal from Archie Kearton. There's been a change at half-time, and this is Leighton Love. Now, he is their top goal scorer in the under-18s Premier League so far this season. It looks like he's going to replace, I think it might be Asosa Saul, which we will check in a second, but yeah, it will be. I think it is Asosa Saul, the number 9. Be a straight swap, and Leighton Love will go up top. He's a very capable player. Their top goal scorer in the competition so far this season, Tommy. So a new challenge for Murray Campbell and Billy G to get acquainted with very quickly.
Well, and he looks as though he's going to be a physical presence up there, because I see him running around already, backing into centre halves, and he's a big lump of a boy. So I'm sure he'll create the same problems Saul did in the first half. But and we talked about first team commitment and belief and quality. Well, our young under-18s need to show that in this remaining 45 minutes here, because a lot of decent things come out of that first half, and individually some good performances. Certainly I think the 2 centre-backs impressed with their coming through and their ability on the ball to see a pass. But we need more from the front 4, and we need to get back into this game.
Absolutely right. Yeah, here is Billy G and Harrison Murray Campbell exchanging passes between the two. Chance perhaps for Chelsea to feel their way into it. They started very fast in the first half. They'll be hoping for a similar expressive beginning to this second half.
But you can already see the coach from West Brom saying, listen, let them have the ball. Let's not commit ourselves, and look at the shape. They find it very hard to get the ball between the lines and break the press. So again, we made the point in the first half. Patience is going to be a key, but somewhere along the line, Chelsea will have to throw caution to the wind maybe in the last 20 minutes.
Look for a long switch pass towards Silcock Dubry from Murray Campbell, but intercepted. It's Chelsea's number 11 that's on the ball now, though. It's a lovely turn. Here is Zane Silcock Dubry, close control up against Oliver. Now Boniface. It's a deep cross towards Stutter and Atto Ampa. It's kept in play by Chelsea's number 7. Here is Ampa. Up rather than out, though, from goal scorer Kearton, only as far as
header.
Ampa now. Ampa!
Yeah, easy save at the near post, but nice to see the 2 wingers finally get involved in the game. Ampa on one side and Silcock Dubry on the left-hand side there, and they need to get into the game more.
Here is Silcott Dubry, another lovely bit of close control.
The subs had a swipe at him already.
Like you mentioned, a very physical presence in Leighton Love, who's come off the bench for West Brom at half-time. That number 12 as a centre-forward, trying to introduce himself, shall we say, to Chelsea's number 11 early in this second half. Here is Murray Campbell.
I have to say, looks like a bit of a throwback from the 70s, with a big, strong centre-forward who's going to put himself about.
It's been effective so far this season for West Brom. Yeah, he's a top goal scorer by some distance. I mean, Fenton Hurd, who's not in the squad, he plays a lot in the PL2 now, to be fair. The central midfielder, Fenton Hurd, he's their second top goal scorer, a goal behind. But after that, you're looking at 1s and 2s. And I think Akil Higgins, who also plays for their PL2 side, is the next closest on 3. So very much their sort of premier goal threat. And again, we speak about physicality and perhaps players looking 18, but he very much looks 18, doesn't he, compared to some of the younger boys?
Yeah, I think he had a shave this morning, that's for sure. But no, I mean, he's going to be up there putting himself out. You've seen already, he's had a little bit of a dust up there with Murray Campbell from a long throw, and there was words exchanged. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be pretty second half, that's for sure. But as I said, our boys need to get back to playing their style of football. Don't get embroiled in a scrap or a fight with these guys. They're trying to make it ugly. We need to keep our style of play.
Absolutely. Here's an opportunity for Williams to get forward, though. Now Deaning. Swept all the way back. Murray Campbell steps across again, but Chelsea can't get a foot on the ball until Atto Amper does exactly that. Lovely turn away from Bostock. Now Tyreek George. Boniface. Space to run into, only Stutter ahead of him. It's a low cross, it's well defended in the end. Looked like it could be a potential tapping at the far post for Achiampong, who was bearing down on goal.
That's a great ball from Boniface. He can do no more. He gets down that left-hand side, creates half a yard. Oh, not sure that's a foul, because I thought Silcott Dubry won the ball, but does fantastic here, Boniface. Gets the defender, squares the defender up, gets to almost to the byline. It's a great little ball into the near stick. That, for me, is a Ronnie Stutter tap-in, if he's making that run. And we saw in the first half his runs were really good. For some reason there, he stood still. And if he gets across the near stick, as I said, it's a simple tap-in. Chelsea back in the game. Great play from Boniface.
Again, lively, though. You asked the question in the end of the first half, Tommy, about Chelsea's wide players creating a little bit more. They've certainly answered that call in the early 5 or 6 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, they have, and they're getting on the ball, and the key with that is the quality's been better as well. And, you know, you can see West Brom trying to dig in, but if we can play at this pace with this quality, you know, the equalising goal will come.
Here is Amper. Slashes it across goal. It's a punch up in the air by Hollinshead and hooked away in the end. Now Bostock. And now Walker. Just got Keaton over the far side. Achiampong doesn't allow that. Here's Oliver, though. Archie Oliver, lovely step inside.
Oh, Billy G's done great there. You know, he stepped inside Dyer, and Billy G's come out there and got a real good block on that. I mean, 6 minutes in is much more open second half. I know Chelsea will go a little bit for it, but even West Brom are hitting them on the break.
Absolutely. I think, like we mentioned, you know, the introduction of Leighton Love for West Brom. I've watched his under-18s goals this season. Very technically, very, very clever. Very good on the ball. His hold-up play is brilliant. He brings other players in, but you've already seen that sort of combative nature of him. He's a very complete player. So, you know, maybe there's a little bit of a buoyancy as well that he's involved. Thought Sewell done okay in the first half, but when you bring on your top goal scorer, I imagine as a player you're thinking, okay, we're on for this one then as well.
Well, especially when you're 1-0 up. I mean, as you said, you're bringing on your leading goal scorer, and you give yourself a chance. And it looks as though they're going to try and hit us on the break, which you've seen in the first sort of 5 or 6 minutes. Chelsea are going at them, but there'll be spaces in behind for them to exploit. So it makes for a better centre half as a viewer, but. As I said, from a Chelsea perspective, we need to get that equalising goal sooner rather than later.
Free kick on halfway. Love's foul on Dyer. Now Billy G. Murray Campbell thought about the long switch, wasn't on that occasion. Just stands the ball up into the channel, looking for Reece Russell-Denny, but Mohamed does well. It's a good battle between George and Oliver. Oliver does really well.
Yeah, he does. And George was fouling him all the way along there. They played a lovely little 1-2. George actually fell asleep for literally a split second there and allowed the midfield player to get in advance of him, so had to pull him back. Definite free kick right in front of the assistant.
Take it quickly to West Brom to get on with things, and it's Cole Deeming to sweep the play back to his captain and goalkeeper, Hollingshead.
Made the point before the game, for all their run of bad form, they'd only conceded 32 goals, and they do look quite solid at the back. You know, they haven't carried a massive threat up front. As I said, one worldy goal from this young number 7 here, Kearton, who hasn't, I think he's only had one touch, and he smashed it in the back of the net. But you know, looking at them, they're dogged, they're hard working, and they're organised. And as I said, they lack a little bit of spark up front, but at the moment, are leading the boys.
Like we mentioned, you know, that the nature of this level of football, the under-18s Premier League, is, you know, you have opportunities that spring well, and if you play well, you're rewarded with a step up into playing for PL2 sides. And, you know, for teams that don't have 60 or 70 opportunities for, you know, that Chelsea do within the academy, 60 or 70 players that are all of a very, very good level. When you go down, you know, to teams that perhaps have only 30 or 40 players, that pool's a lot smaller, and even players that, you know, usually would be playing in the PL2 side might step down a little bit, but more often than not, Ronnie Stutter very nearly getting in there. More often than not, if you play well, I suppose, for West Brom 18s, you'll step up into their PL2 side. So it's a bit of an anomaly, really, isn't it, when you look at the scoreline, because, you know, that team sheet can change so quickly, so sporadically, and it's more a reward than anything else if you're not playing the 18 sometimes.
Yeah, and you've made a massive point early on as well about the ages of the teams, because at this level you can, you know, 15, 16, you can be in this team, and you can be 18, and the physicality alone of that 2 years is massive. And his first booking of the game here, a bit of a cynical challenge there, and the West Brom, was it Bostock who made the first goal? He's getting a yellow card, but you know, that 2 years is a massive period of you know, growing into your frame and learning your trade, and so they may just be a little bit more streetwise than Chelsea today. And as I said, the shape is working for them.
Yeah, definitely a side that have come and competed to a very good level. They'll be pleased with their performances so far. Although still quite a lot of football to be played. Only 10 minutes into the second half. An opportunity for Chelsea perhaps to test Hollingshead in goal. Goes short though to Murray Campbell. Just confirmation of Oliver Bostock, first name in the referee's notebook this afternoon. Achiampong does well to keep hold of possession there.
See that sloppy from Ampa. I mean, Ampong's done really well, been strong. You know, he's gone to Billy G, he's played the ball down the line, and it's a sloppy ball in the middle there. Got a chance here though.
Murray Campbell to Tariq George, one-on-one with Mohamed. Ampa.
Yeah, I'll never criticise a shot that hits the target. I think there was a lot of power in it, but you know, you can do no more than do that. And I think George done really well as well, because he's cut across the box, looking for options. You can see he's looking to bend one in the top corner, looking, doesn't, feeds the ball back into Ampa, gets it out of his feet. Decent strike, but you know, never going to really hurt the goalkeeper. But better. This could be another yellow card here, because I think Murray Campbell's gone right through him here.
Yeah, he stepped quite a way into the West Brom half there, Harrison Murray Campbell, and I think it might be Bostock that he's left in a heap on the floor.
Yeah, you saw the referee reaching for his card there, and slightly cynical. And as I said, they do that well, the two centre-backs. I mean, that's a bit of a cynical foul, but him and G have both gone into them areas and nicked balls off the striker as they've been fed in there, and created attacks for Chelsea. On that occasion, slightly late.
So Archie Oliver, who's on the deck for West Brom at the moment as they prepare another change. Diego Nelson being readied. He's played 10 times in the U18s Premier League for West Brom so far this season, and it'll be a straight swap, I think, there for Noel Phillips. Can play anywhere across the back line. I've seen him in a few different positions, but I think largely you get your best football out of Diego Nelson at right back, so that's where I think he'll slot in for the moment. We'll keep an eye on shape. It looks like that's where it'll be a straight swap. 2 changes for West Brom. Chelsea yet to make any alterations as we approach the hour mark. Love with a flick on.
Going back to the big boy Love, you can see, you know, what he's about. He gives you an out ball. You know, the goalkeeper there, Hollinshead, he's come forward for it, looking, obviously, as Chelsea drop deep, there's no space in behind. So what he's done is threaded it through onto his head, and the flick-on's gone to a Chelsea player. But got to be aware of the flick-ons there. You can see him again there holding the ball up, and he does look a bit of a throwback and a handful in saying that.
Big in both boxes now as well, aren't they, with the 2 centre-halves and then a centre-forward as well. So
yeah, massive. They're a big side, and Walker on the left-hand side is not small either. Chance for Chelsea to break them.
Atoampa racing into the West Brom half.
Done well, Williams, hasn't he? Because he actually got forward and he was giving Amper 5 yards there, and he's got back really well.
Yeah, they really like that battle between the two. It's been 6-1, half a dozen the other so far. It's been a very eagerly contested game, and Atoampa and I think Alex Williams will both be looking to try and get the better of the other in the final half an hour of play here. And you'd even say potentially that could be where the game's won and lost, because so far Williams has done well enough to keep him quiet, but it only takes Atoampa to have one opportunity to get beyond him and square something from the byline or cut inside, and you never know, that could be where the game's swung.
Well, you've seen Amper come in from that wide right-hand side and have a couple of shots. So, yeah, I mean, he's more than capable. And, you know, when you've got the pace and the ability that he's got, you know he can change a game with any movement. But, as I said, as a side and as a shape, West Brom are keeping well at it. And, you know, they're sort of spoiling Chelsea's attacks, for want of a better word. And, as I said, I think we just need to be better with our final pass. But, and as I said earlier, in the half, get our wingers in the game and see what they can do.
So a long ball towards Stutter, but it's dealt with well by Sumner, and he is offside for the second ball. An hour played, still no alterations or changes for Chelsea, just confirmation of Murray Campbell being the first blue name in the referee's notebook for that foul a little bit earlier on Oliver. You mentioned it, Tommy. It's probably one of the easier ones that the referee's going to have to give.
Well, I think he's given 2, and they were both nailed on. I mean, I think Bostock for the first one, which was cynical, and that one there.
Sands in goal can keep the ball in play and keep Chelsea ticking over. Here's G. Achiampong back to Billy G. Now Murray Campbell. Boniface under a bit of pressure from Kearton, but rolls the ball back to his centre-half. Switch of play from Silcott Dubry. Hangs up in the wind a little bit and behind Atoampa.
Yeah, and the intention was superb, and the vision was good. The execution was poor, and he said, I think that you can blame the conditions for that a little bit. I think he tried to sort of float it into that area in behind the defender Williams, and the wind got hold of it and took it off for a throw-on.
That's really good play. Well. Yeah, really good play. Could be an opportunity now for West Brom to spring a bit of a counter-attack themselves.
Ooh. I'm not sure about that one. I think Love's got right across there, and I think Boniface, as he's looking to break, I think he gets his toe on the ball here. And you can see Love's complaining to the referee that he did make contact. We're interested. His touch was decent, got out of his feet. He certainly made contact with the ball there, Love. I think we've got a little bit fortunate.
I agree with you there. That's a good tackle. I think if it's the other way, I think Chelsea fans will be disappointed with that one. So a little bit of a let-off. little bit of gamesmanship between Murray Campbell and Love.
Well, he's been on 17 minutes. He's been a total nuisance, hasn't he?
Double change for Chelsea by the looks of it, and Lewis Flower and Donnell McNeely are going to be the two that come on. So 2 attacking changes. Lewis Flower, we've seen play as a 10. He can play wide, he can play as a 9 as well. So be interesting to see if he comes on. It'll be Atto Amper that's one of the players replaced by Lewis Flower. So maybe Flower will go and play on the right-hand side. Looks like Tyreek George actually is going to come over to the right-hand side by the way that they're shaping up. And then Flower's going to go over the far end. McNeely's come on as well. So I think it'd be Silcott Dewberry, I think it's come off as well. But looks like Ronnie Stutter's still on there, and Tyreek George as well. McNeely going to drop in as a 10. So yeah, it'll be Silcott Dewberry and Atto Amper for Lewis Flower and Donnell McNeely. Donnell McNeely, a player that's really had quite a breakout season, to be fair. He's been very good in terms of his goal scoring return this season for Chelsea. He's got 10 in the under-18s Premier League in 14 games. Signed his pro deal as well a few months back. So an opportunity for Chelsea fans to see a little bit more of very combative, very clever, intelligent on the ball is Donnell McNeely.
That was nearly a substitution of the year because McNeely got to the edge of the box there, and he's unfortunately shanked it with his left foot and it nowhere near the target. But he had a great opportunity. They worked it really well, Chelsea, and on his first touch had a chance to hit the target. Unfortunately, come off the side of his foot.
Lewis Flower's another one who's, again, hugely capable. Plays anywhere across the front line. Really, I've seen him play as a 9 and as a 10. It looks like he's going to go and play on that right-hand side, but very clever in his first touch, good link-up player, and another one that's very, very capable in terms of finishing. I mean, his return itself is very impressive. 6 in 14.
Yeah, and that's nearly 1 in 2, obviously. So that's a good return. You know, if you can play in all positions as well, if you're not just playing as a lone striker.
Gives Chelsea the option as well, doesn't it? Perhaps if, you know, as the game changes, if you've got 4 players across that front 4 in George, Flower, McNeely and Stutter that, you know, can really occupy any of the 4. You can change things as and when and just keep the defenders guessing a little bit.
Yeah, George has come out to this left-hand side. I said in the first half he seemed to favour that a little bit. Him and Boniface and Silcott Dewberry were playing in that sort of triangle there. So it might suit him now without Silcott Dewberry in front of him.
Billy G stepping forward, looking to play in Lewis Flower. Ever so close. Achiampong keeps hold of it though. Chelsea still pressing. McNeely, lovely turn.
That's Fran.
Free kick in a good position as well for Chelsea now. Donnell McNeely wins the foul.
You know, substitution should give you a little bit of an impetus, but the pace of the game's picked up from Chelsea's point of view, and in the couple of minutes they've been on, you know, a little bit more dynamic in that final third. Again, a free kick created by quick feet and quick passing. It's a long way out, and with the elements as they are, the wind might be against him here, but it looks so he's shaping up to have a strike.
It's Reece Russell-Denny who's stood over it. It's quite a long run up, so it does look like he's going to try and test Holling's head here.
I think we move on from that one, shall we?
Yeah.
It was a poor free kick. I mean, look, it's a long way out, and I know you've got to get a lot of pace into the shot, but the technique wasn't right there.
Still 25 minutes or so to play here at Cobham. Still the only goal of the game was brilliantly taken finish from Archie Kearton. Half an hour into the game, he shaped it onto his right-hand side and then just whipped it into the top corner from 20-odd yards. It's a moment of magic that so far is deciding this game. Mohamed, long ball towards Walker. Dealt with well by Achiampong though. It's another good battle, full-back on winger.
Yeah, and again, the wingers got back and stopped him clearing it, and they're really having a good physical battle down there. But did really well there. Ampong stood big and strong.
Here's Billy G. Murray Campbell now. Good feet from Tyreek George. Here we go. He's off. He's past the goal scorer, Kearton. Oh, gets stuck under his feet a little bit, but Doesn't give it up. Deep cross towards the far post.
Oh,
Reece Russell-Denny. Real chance that. Wonderful play from Tyreek George. We spoke about that magic pre-game. That's exactly it, doesn't it? Doesn't give it up. Works an angle. And it's a lovely floated in ball towards the far post.
well, he's very unlucky because he was going for goal and his the ball got played underneath his feet, so he's had to check back. But then he still filtered a lovely ball in behind the defenders. And I have to say, Russell-Denny's first touch let him down there. I think he was undecided whether to have a strike first time or have a touch and a strike. Didn't do either, and it fell through to the goalkeeper. Such a shame. Great move on this left-hand side.
Something building for Chelsea, very nearly built for West Brom there. Love nearly nipped it off the toes of Murray Campbell, but between him and Sands, they could deal with that. Again, still life in this game very much for both teams. There's that battle again. Murray Campbell giving as good as he's getting at the moment between him and Leighton Love up front for West Brom.
Well, the first contact they had, as I said, there was words after, and there's certainly that physicality still remaining between both of them, and he won the battle there really well, Murray Campbell.
Imagine that's something as well that as a youth coach very much pleases you, that big lad comes on, wants to assert himself, and you as a centre half just not giving an inch.
Yeah, and you can imagine that the West Brom coaches have gone, listen, let's throw a few bodies at these pretty centre backs that Chelsea have got coming through with the ball looking $1 million, and let's see if we can ruffle a few feathers. And again, they're one-on-one, they're having a battle, and it goes off for a throw-on. And as I said, he looks as though he's just going to lead the line, flick things on, and just do the basic things at the moment, and create problems. But you know, if you're a Chelsea defender or a Chelsea coach, you're happy your defenders are standing up to that physicality.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what they have done so far, although does need to be remembered a little bit that Murray Campbell is on a booking, so something to keep an eye on. 20 minutes to play here at Cobham. Here is Harrison Murray Campbell and Billy G. Chelsea yet to find a response to Archie Keaton's open up, but his substitute Lewis Flower wins the corner.
Yeah, again, Stusser pulled out to the right-hand side, fed Flower in behind, and he's looked up there, and surprisingly, he's tried to hit across because he looked up. He couldn't have seen any Chelsea players in the box, but fortunately, he's come off the West Brom defender and got a set piece out of it.
It'll be Russell-Denny stood over the set piece. Achiampong's up from the back, as is Murray Campbell. Boniface on the edge of the box. Achiampong!
Yes!
And there's your equaliser. Josh Achiampong comes forward, powerful header. Goalkeeper gets gloves on it, but unable to tip it around the post. Chelsea are level.
Yeah, and deservedly so. I mean, since the subs have come on, we've looked quite bright. It's had a free kick, which we wasted somewhat. But this isn't the best ball in the box. It sort of hangs up there. It floats a little bit, and I think there's a little bit of a push here. Ampong he just gets in behind. They get underneath the ball, the West Brom defenders. Love is appealing that he got a push in the back, but I'm not sure he did. It's a real good header because it's down low. Goalkeeper can't get down to it, pushes it into the corner net. Chelsea deservedly back on level terms.
Absolutely right. Josh Achiampong's third goal of the season. He's already scored an absolute worldie against Spurs earlier in the season, just showing that he's capable of doing other things other than scoring worldies. Love to see it. It's a good header. Chelsea back on level terms. 20 minutes to play here at Cobham. One apiece.
You know, for all the pretty play and during this sort of opening 70-odd minutes, you know, it comes down to a set piece and someone being brave and committed in the box to get his head on it, and which he did. And we made the point earlier about the size of the two centre-backs and the boy Love who's come on. And he got in and amongst them, and great header down.
Spins away there, Keanu Dyer. Now Chelsea feeling it, back on level terms, and with Reece Russell-Denny looking to see if they can find a second. Billy G. Now Ronnie Stutter, who's gone out to that right-hand side. We're speaking about that flexibility. Lewis Flower playing more centrally, it looks like, at the moment. Boniface. Here's Stutter. Dyer.
Oh, great turn.
Here's McNeely. Flower keeps it alive. Stutter. Deep cross towards Tyreek George. It's a good header from Diogo Nelson.
But again, the play from Chelsea is much sharper, much brighter, good movement off the ball. And there's a decent ball hit to the far post, and obviously George just waited there. Defender did really well to get ahead on it.
Murray Campbell. McNeely. Now Stutter. Hangs it up towards the far post.
It's a great ball.
Might not be over. Here's Boniface.
It's in.
Oh, Lewis Flower with a header.
Again, Chelsea just turned in the screw. It's a great ball. And you know, sometimes strikers that go wide are the best crossers of the ball because they understand exactly where they want the ball to be if they was in there. And it was a great ball hit in by Ronnie Stutter. And we had bodies in there. Couldn't get on the first one. The second one comes in and Flower had a chance to power it in. Just didn't get enough on the header.
Murray Campbell does well. Could be an opening now for Chelsea. Just going to fall to Russell Denny. Important touch on the ball there from... It's Cole Deaning again. You mentioned about Chelsea are feeling the last 3 or 4 minutes, Tommy. They look like the only team at the moment that are going to go on and do something. But I suppose we said that in the first half. That's what you need to be aware of. And now, on cue, the lad that scored very nearly got on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you can't take your finger off the pulse here at any stage if you're a Chelsea player. And this is the ball from Ronnie Stutter. I mean, it's absolutely fed into a fantastic area. And we had 4 bodies in the 6-yard box there. None of them could get on the end of it. It's got a chance here.
Flower, a little bit of a pullback. He's not appealing. He did well to stay on his feet firstly, and then Mohamed, I think it was, with a tackle to just snuff the ball out.
Yeah, and again, I use the word honesty. I think the first contact, if he's in the Premiership, I think he goes down. But he wants to keep on his feet. He wants to score that goal, and the second contact was legal, and obviously he snuffed it back to the goalkeeper. But this has been a real good sort of 6-7 minutes for the boys in blue.
Murray Campbell, now Tyreek George.
See, I don't know why Tyreek doesn't just play that down the side there, and instead, you know, oh no. Well,
Sounds did well there.
I saw Love in the middle with nobody near, and I'm thinking, please don't float it onto his head. But fortunately, the goalkeeper was nice and bright sands and come off his line there.
Here's goal scorer Josh Achiampong into Ronnie Stutter. Sprays the ball over to Lewis Flower if he's onside. I think he is. Flower. Deflection off Mohamed out for a corner.
Again, nice and positive from Flower there. Cuts in on his right foot. Got one thing on his mind there. I'm going to hit the target with a shot. And it was definitely going on target. Defender does really well, though. Gets his body in the way. I mean, and it's a big body as well, by the way. And he just flecks it wide for another set piece.
Well, the last set piece Chelsea found their response from. Achiampong up from the back again, as is Murray Campbell. Boniface again lurking on the edge of the area, but now Flowers in there, and Stutter, McNeely, Tyreek George as well. Lashed away from Oliver Bostock. 15 minutes to play here at Cobham. Good response from Chelsea in this second half. A good performance in general, to be fair, Tommy, from the team. And good in possession. A lot to like about it. They'll think that they deserve 3 points from it eventually.
Yeah, and you know, as I said, you've got sort of 15 minutes to get them 3 points in place. And you know, I think the substitutions have added that little bit of pace, that little bit of energy, which was perhaps lacking. And I think obviously the shape of the team's changed. Personnel have gone to different positions. Ronnie Stutter on that wide out right-hand side's had an influence in the game as well now. And as you say, there's Billy G coming forward and 20 yards inside their half. Poor ball, but it just shows the centre halves wanting to get forward and create.
Here is Achiampong. His header has Chelsea level. All the way back to Hudson Sands in the Chelsea goal this afternoon. Billy G again, looking to carry into the West Brom half, gives it to Boniface. Now Flower. Space on the right-hand side if Ronnie Stutter can be heard. Gets the ball eventually. Russell Denny. Flick round the corner. Here's Flower.
It's a shame. I mean, Russell Denny, great little ball round the corner. I love them. Then go and join the centre forward, and he did so. Got the ball back, and unfortunately the ball again floated, got caught in the wind, and floated into the goalkeeper's arms.
Josh Achiampong does brilliantly well there, but ball's fallen to Oliver. Good tackle from Murray Campbell. Clock seems to be moving at double speed though for Chelsea, because every time you look out there's less and less. Donnell McNeely into Stutter.
Oh, he's offside again.
He's not happy with it.
No, you can see the frustration in Ronnie's face here, and he's come off that sort of wide area and just come in field and was going to flick a lovely little ball through to Flower, and but again, just that maybe half a yard offside.
Just a shade over 10 minutes plus whatever the officials decide to add on. So there's still time for Chelsea, but a little bounce of fortune there. Mohamed as the ball bobble out of play. McNeely. Here's Dyer. Need the instruction from the Chelsea bench. Keep it moving, stay calm. So a big switch on to Ronnie Stutter again. He's really hugging that touchline now, Tommy.
Yeah, he's given us plenty of width. You need to be dragging them out of them areas. And the left back, obviously, earlier we saw the one-on-one he was having with Amper, but he's got Ronnie Stutter out there now. It's a good ball into the box.
Flower.
Oh, you know what doesn't help him here? I think the ball floats into him and he has to generate the power from the header himself, and he just can't get enough of it. Technique wasn't great, I have to say, but he just couldn't get enough on it to test the keeper. Great ball in, although it was floaty, and it didn't give him a lot of chances, said, to power it into the back of the net. Another opportunity goes begging, though.
See that impact from the substitutes, and here's the other one, Donnell McNeely. Looked like it was a foul there, maybe.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, Tyreek George lashed it into the... Maybe it hit an arm, but I think it was quite close to his body if it was. Here's Boniface. A little bit of desperation about the defending from West Brom, but they are digging in. Chelsea are yet to find the breakthrough. Lewis Flower very nearly did, though, didn't he? Like you mentioned it. Hangs up for so long.
Yeah, it's there for a long time. You can see it's floating, or it's actually going away from him, to be fair. I was a little bit critical of the power, but he was actually floating away from him in the end, and he got something on it, just not enough power to generate it past the goalkeeper. But it's much better from Chelsea this last 15 minutes, and I think the substitutions have worked, the shape's working better. Add that to the fact that West Brom have worked so hard over this 80 minutes closing Chelsea down, that I think maybe they're getting a little bit leggy now. Less than 10 minutes to play here at Cobham, but they're coming together there between Lewis Flower and Cole Deeming, who's been in the wars a little bit today. Flick on from Love. There you go, Nelson nearly got in there, and thankfully through Hudson Sounds, Chelsea prevent the corner out the conceding of a throw-in. Yeah, well, Boniface initially was in control of that situation, but he sort of took a bit too much time, and he was closed down by the sub, as you said, and Nelson, and give a bit of a panicky ball back to the goalkeeper, who managed to save it from a corner. But looks like they've got a long throw anyway.
Love with a flick on. I think it was actually Sumnall up from the back, wasn't it, who's tried to just flick something goalwards.
Yeah, well, that's the old training ground throw on. I mean, it's a great throw into the near post there, and obviously Love, the big striker, got his flick on, as he's done in this second half, and the centre half up from the back got a nice flick on it, easily saved for the keeper, but good set piece from West Brom.
Here's Reece Russell-Denny.
What a
Lovely
ball that
switch
is.
of play. Here's Tyreek George, if he can keep it in.
Oh,
So unfortunate. That's a lovely pass, isn't it? Just run out of pitch, did Tyreek George, to be able to keep it in.
I always felt he was going to catch it, but it just seemed to be running away from him, and eventually, obviously, didn't. But good vision, but unfortunately, not the greatest result. Well, we saw Hollinshead wasting time 90 seconds in, so I'm sure he's going to 83 minutes in.
He's had a number of good saves today as well, and he'll be disappointed not to be leaving Cobham with a clean sheet after a performance he's put in, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean he's had a decent first half, and the second half not done too bad either. But as I said, I don't think he had a lot of chance, purely because the header was down and right at his feet, and to get that away would have had to move very, very quickly, which he couldn't do.
6.5 minutes left of normal time here at Cobham. It was Archie Kearton who gave West Brom the lead against the run of play on the half-hour mark in the first half, before an equalising goal from Josh Achiampong. Reece Russell-Denny's in swinging corner, and Achiampong with a header. Could be a chance here for Lewis Flower. He did so well to stay on his feet 2 or 3 times there.
Absolutely brilliant play from Flower. Got to the byline and nearly picked a Chelsea player out. Again, we had 2 in the 6-yard box, which is a credit to the boys, but unfortunately missed both of them.
Clip ball over the top, but Oliver's offside.
Oh, that would infuriate you as the West Brom coach. Again, he's looking along the line. Wide players should never be offside when they can look right along the line and see where defenders are.
Another change for Chelsea as Tyreek George is replaced. Just making sure they've got all his statistics, taking the chip out the back of his shirt. Just going to get confirmation. Chinoza Chibueze is the player who comes on for him. Murray Campbell with a long raking pass towards Stutter. It's headed away. Russell-Denny. Back to his captain. Back to Russell-Denny. Oh. Opened up nicely for him.
Yeah, again, it's fantastic football from Chelsea down the right-hand side. And Denny looks so comfortable when he comes in on that left foot. He's so sweet, but again, he just overhits it, just tries to get too much on it and misses the target completely. He's a frustration for me, because I think looking at him, he's like a Rolls Royce when he's moving. He looks so natural. Comes in on his left foot, and you know, I think that whether he's trying to overhit it, I'm not quite sure, but needs to just lower his sights a little bit.
Another change for West Bromwich Albion as Cheek Kone comes on. First touch of the ball for the substitute here. Murray Campbell's introduced him as well. Oof, nearly.
Is it coming together?
Billy G took out Williams and his captain, Ronnie Stutter, at the same time. So I think once the captain gets up, he'll thank him for anyway. He'd rather you clean everyone out if you're coming through.
Oh, he did. He didn't miss the didn't miss the challenge at all there, did he? I think God, he's got Stutter, he's got Williams, as you said, and fortunately he's got up and he's got away. He's unscathed, fortunately, because that could have been a real nasty challenge.
Less than 5 minutes to play here at Cobham. Still 1 apiece. By the way this game's gone, it'd be silly to predict how it's going to finish, even at this late stage. Looks like Stutter's going to be okay to carry on. Williams still going through a rigorous assessment from the West Brom physio. Made a real impact since he's come on, Lewis Flower. Started on that right-hand side, has gone more central and has given Chelsea a little bit more of a target to aim for.
Yeah, and particularly Sumnall suffered through his movement, and you saw in the box just now when he got the real good cross in, it was Sumner that went down trying to block the cross, but couldn't get near him, and I said he certainly won that battle.
Thankfully both Chelsea and West Brom back up to a full complement as Sutter and Williams return to the pitch. Billy G breezes past substitute Kone. Sutter gives it back to him. Back to Billy G.
Just love that about Billy G. And to be fair, Murray Campbell's exactly the same. They love to get forward and break into them areas and play little 1-2s with people, and he ended up in the 6-yard box almost there.
It's a clever foul from from Archie Oliver. Knew exactly what he was doing there. Just brought Keanu Dyer down just to slow things down, but Chelsea are not allowing things to slow down. McNeely.
I think he's got to play a 1-2 there. McNeely's just got the ball to his feet, just knock it back into the space, and I think we're in there. And again, got another set piece, but disappointing.
Chibueze wins the corner for Chelsea. 89 minutes on the clock. Russell Denny going to come and take an outswinger from this side. Well claimed by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, that's food and drink all day long. I mean, he's been decent this game, but to float it up like that into the 6-yard box, he has to come and command it, which he did.
Chance now for West Brom to react, maybe to show a bit of ambition themselves and throw a few forward.
Yeah, good shout. I mean, this is a test for the coach. Does he say keep the ball? Does he say let's sling it in the box and see if we can win the game? And you'd hope at U18 level, at this level, you're teaching them the right things, and let's try and win the game. Let's go and beat Chelsea at Cobham.
I think by the looks of it, we were the only ones having that conversation, Tommy.
I think he forgot to tell his players. What sort of coaching's that?
I think both coaches will be pleased with their output today. Maybe not the result from a Chelsea perspective, but both teams have competed very well, and certainly West Brom have turned up and shown that they're a lot better than the form, but perhaps had suggested prior to kick-off.
Oh. Well, so this is definitely a foul. I don't think it could be a sending off, because I don't think he's through on goal. I think the other centre-half's coming across and helps him.
I think he's looking anxiously to see what colour comes out of the book, though. He's still not sure. He's not jogged back into position, which I think is the teller that he's not sure.
He's a big boy, Mohammed, isn't he? Yeah, yellow card.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the position of Sumnall here helps him, because you can see just out of picture here, Sumnall will come in, and I think that, and also he's a little bit wide, so he's not actually through on goal per se, but he certainly got a little bit lucky there, Mohammed.
It's a really clever run, isn't it, from Lewis Flower, because he runs across him, so there's almost no intent to clip the back of him. But
absolutely, and he's got no choice unless he's, as I said, he's got to make contact. The first thing is the quality of the ball in behind was fantastic.
No, to Boniface. Oh, it took a little skip through there. It's one of those where you never know if it's going to clip off a stud and wrong foot the goalkeeper, like we saw with Conor Gallagher at the weekend for the first team. It's worth a hit, I suppose.
Oh, very much so. I mean, he had limited options because he was right in the centre of the pitch. So yeah, let's drive it into that area. And when you think it's probably gone through 8 to 10 bodies there, the slightest of touches the other way, wrong foot's the keeper, like you saw at the weekend at Stamford Bridge.
Final few seconds of this one here at Cobham. Love with the flick on. Here's Kone. Chibueze nicks in well to Donnell McNeely. Perhaps That's one last Chelsea attack. Achiampong. Now Stutter. It's a good crossing towards the far post. Just evades Chibueze at the far post, but Boniface is going to keep it alive. Dyer into McNeely.
Oh, great strength.
Wins the corner. Brilliant play.
Brilliant play from McNeely. He had no right to win the first challenge. He was second favourite all day long, but showed strength, commitment to get in front of the defender, and then drove into the box and eventually got a corner out of it. Look at this. He's so strong then. And he shrugs off the second defender, and good feet there as well. And I think there's a free kick in the end there. I think he's pushing the young substitute Nelson, but got something out of it.
Corner to Chelsea. It's a deep one towards the far post. Here's Boniface. Oh. It's a really good attempt from Somto Boniface, but it could be a counter-attack here as Nelson smothered out of it by Murray Campbell.
Great play for Murray Campbell. He's run fully 60 yards there to get back, showed great pace. Again, desire, commitment, everything you need from a young centre-back.
We still play here with Billy G. Boniface slams the ball forward. Perhaps one final chance maybe, but Hollinshead does well to claim it in the sky.
Yeah, you'd think that would be that. It's a well-played ball over the top, just slightly overhit, and we've seen the goalkeeper come off his line so many times in this game, and was sure to be there on the end of it.
Still we play here at Cobham. Murray Campbell looks long towards Flower. Mohamed with the header, only as far as Stutter. Sumnall does well though. And there we have it. Finishes at Cobham. A goal apiece. A good Chelsea performance in the first half was dampened a little bit by a wonder goal from Archie Kearton as the visitors took a half-time lead. A really, really fine finish from West Bromwich Albion's number 7. They'd lost 6 on the bounce coming into this one, so Chelsea expected to get themselves back in the game. It took a little bit longer than they'd have thought, though. Had to huff and puff a little bit, but they played really well and managed to get an equaliser through Josh Achiampong after a good in-swinging corner from Reece Russell-Denny. Chelsea then knocked on the door, continued to try and find a winner, but West Bromwich Albion stood firm. It's finished a goal apiece here at Cobham. Probably, on the balance of things, Tommy, a fair result.
No, I thought Chelsea were the better side. I mean, the one wonder goal from Curtin in the first half separated the two teams. I thought Chelsea overall were the better side technically. A great desire from West Brom on the back of 60 feet to go to Cobham and get something out of the game. But I think final ball was disappointing at times, but Chelsea definitely had the better chances. Just couldn't put them in the back of the net. And unfortunately, it seems to be a club thing at the moment that we don't seem to punish teams when we are in the ascendancy and better than them. But commitment was good from both sides. I think technically the two centre-backs were brilliant. I thought the midfield Dyer was superb and good movement up front, especially from the substitutes who came on. So Chelsea would be disappointed. Well done to West Brom. They've nicked a result today and probably didn't deserve it, but they go back to the Midlands with a point.
Like you mentioned, the substitutes, the impact that Donnell McNeely and Lewis Flower especially had, both of them coming off the bench and causing real problems. But we speak about that opportunity for players to come in, and again, Donnell McNeely's top goal scorer for Chelsea at this level, and Lewis Flower likewise. But perhaps that little carrot of maybe you might get an opportunity to play in the final 2 PL2 games of the season, or the first team might be keeping an eye on proceedings. You can certainly see there's still plenty to play for this season.
Absolutely, as I said, 2 local derbies to come, Crystal Palace and Fulham at this level, and you've got Spurs on Monday night at PL2, and there's loads to aspire to. As Jim Fraser congratulating his boys on there as well. And you know, as I said, overall I thought it was a good performance. I think, you know, certainly they ended up frustrated first half to be a goal down because they were better than that. And they seemed to lose their way a little bit after sort of the opening 10 minutes, where we both felt that it was just a matter of time before Chelsea scored. And I said that goal was a bit of a body blow for them. And but the second half, as I said, it's a test of their commitment, their desire, and they showed plenty of that in the second half. Much the better side, got the deserved equaliser, just couldn't get that winning goal.
You mentioned that a couple of big games to come. Obviously, Crystal Palace on Saturday, London Derby, Fulham as well. Plenty of games still to play. Plenty of opportunities still to play for these younger players. Let's have a little look at how things happened this afternoon, if you are just joining us late on this one. But it was a good start from Chelsea, first 90 seconds or so, Tommy. Chelsea looked like they were really at it.
Yeah, that was Billy G again, nicking a ball forward, and Stutter plays a lovely little ball in, and it's a good bit of feet there on the edge of the box from George. Good eventual quality shot with his left foot. Keeper does really well 90 seconds in, wasn't even warm, the goalkeeper. Look, he's nice and patient here, waits the opening, gets the ball out of his feet. Good little feed into the far post, well saved by the keeper.
Tariq George very much involved in everything good of Chelsea in the first opening exchanges, and here's another opportunity from him.
Yeah, again, a nice little ball in behind the defender. Always a willing runner as well. Likes to sort of test the back of the shoulder of the defenders here, and he gets into a good area. Again, he'll be disappointed he's not tested the goalkeeper and hit the target.
But West Brom very much showing that their high press was not going to let Chelsea settle on the ball, and this was their first real sighting of goal, but dealt with well in the end by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he came out there, claimed it at the second attempt as he's going to go on for the rebound. He grabs it, but the ball up to Amper wasn't really on there, and I think they lost possession there, and but he rescued it in the end.
And Ronnie Stutter very nearly getting in behind here as a lovely first touch, and very nearly with a second found the far corner.
Yeah, it was a lovely move, full stop. It was a great ball in from the left-hand side, and Ronnie Stutter's touch just took him away from the goal there, and he just sort of tried to feed it into that far stick and missed the target.
Chelsea captain for this afternoon. Another opportunity down this left-hand side with good interchange between Silcott Dubry and Tariq George, and Somto Boniface just striking over.
Yeah, we've seen Boniface get forward quite a bit in this game, and this is on his unfavourable right foot. Gets it out of his feet, good first touch, sizes it up, unfortunately, again, can't hit the target and test the keeper.
Silcott Dubry again, showing really quick feet, and Tariq George also showing matching quick feet here.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to the byline, and as I said, there's two people waiting, maybe pulling it back a little bit more to Ronnie Stutt, who's stood at the far post here, or the penalty spot if you can drag it back that far. But unfortunately, fed it into the near post, easy save for the keeper.
Breakthrough in the first half, felt like it was coming for Chelsea. Unfortunately, it came for the visitors, and it came through Oliver Bostock rolling the ball into Archie Kearton. Who did that?
Yeah, Bostock. It was a great move from the back. It ended up with Bostock in our half, and he's fed the ball into Kearton. His first touch was really good, got it out of his feet, didn't need to have a second one because his second one smashed it into the back of the net. Look, he just gets it out there, no need for a second touch. His second touch is going to be a shot. Fantastic strike into the top corner. Keeper no chance, and at that stage it was a smash and grab because they hadn't really been in the game.
That's a brilliant finish, isn't it? Really good finish to give West Brom the lead in the first half, and again against the run of play. But second half, Chelsea reacted and started quickly in the second half again. Tariq George involved.
Yeah, George was always involved in the good things that happen for Chelsea. Again, he's sizing up a shot. He's always looking to get a strike in. He doesn't. He's nice and patient, plays the ball in, and I think it's Russell Denny has a strike with his left foot. Unfortunately, straight down the goalkeeper's throat. This is George again.
Absolutely, yeah. Just skips away from the goal scorer there. It looked like the chance had gone, but lovely deep cross, and very nearly Russell Denny able to find something to put it goalwards.
Yeah, it's George to Denny again, and on this occasion again Denny's touch. I think the indecision killed him here. Do I hit this first time? The ball floated to him a little bit. Do I have a touch, or do I hit first time? End up doing neither. End up so just feeding it back into the goalkeeper's arms.
Here is Reece Russell Denny involved again, and he's got an assist to his name because Josh Achiampong, equal to it, nods it into the bottom corner.
Yeah, and to be fair to Ampong, he's big and brave here, and he makes something out of nothing. He's not the greatest balling because it's floated up there, and it's one of them that just sort of hangs there for a while, but he's big, he's strong, gets there, and it's a good header down. Goalkeeper's made some good saves today, but he couldn't get down quick enough, pushes it into the corner there, and it's a deserved equaliser.
You can see straight away Tariq George picking the ball out of the net. Chelsea wanted to get on with things, try and make something happen, try and find a winner, and there's a couple of opportunities. It's a lovely ball in from Reece Russell, Denny Lewis-Flower, substitute very nearly, giving Chelsea that advantage.
Yeah, Russell done it again, made a point about his left foot. He's got a lovely left foot, feeds it into a great area. As I said, I think the wind just catches it there, holds it up, and he can't get enough purchase in the header. Tests the keeper, hits the target, but doesn't really test the keeper.
One of the final sights of goal of the game, it was Santo Boniface, lovely first touch. Unfortunately, couldn't direct it either side of the goalkeeper.
Well, we've seen the right back get the equaliser, and we've seen the left back now trying to get the winner. And it was a good strike with his wrong foot. I mean, he's obviously left-footed, but he hits it really well with his right. Again, the goalkeeper well positioned.
Absolutely, yeah. It's finished all square here at Cobham. Chelsea 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Tommy, thank you very much for your company,
Been
mate.
a pleasure, Joe.
Really enjoyed that. Don't forget, Chelsea Under-18s back in action this weekend, so make sure you join us on the Fifth Stand Up, Chelsea's YouTube channel, and all across the social channels for that one. Obviously, a little bit later on, a massive game here at Real Madrid, which is going to be a huge game. Just one final thing, obviously, Matchday Live, 7 o'clock this evening. Second leg, Chelsea 2 down on aggregate. Tommy, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's written in the stars.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you very much. Make sure you join us for that a little bit later on Matchday Live. Should be a good one. It's finished all square here at Cobham. Chelsea 1, West Bromwich Albion 1.